Alrighty, hello everybody. Here we are today with Flats again. Hello, Flats.
Hello.
How are we doing? Hello, everybody.
Not bad.
We are back with some matches. It feels like it's been a few weeks.
Well, that's because it has been.
Yep.
A few weeks.
It has been. We have the Summer Showdown, which is going to be a very interesting tournament, not only because there's no hero bans this time, but it's going to be good matchups, and you know, we're getting closer and closer to, like, I mean, it's essentially past the middle of the season now.
Yeah, I think it is. I think this is probably the halfway point. Like, the start of this tournament is the halfway point, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, pretty much. I mean, once you start the match, it's past the halfway point.
Yeah. There was the August tournament, and then September playoffs, and
yeah. Well, I think that's gonna be crazy. But we have today Shock versus Gladiators, two teams with very good records. Now, obviously, I haven't been winning. You know, been winning the tournament, but very, very good teams, and both teams are definitely very capable of not only popping off this time around, but also maybe winning it.
I mean, this is probably the biggest match of the week. With the Gladiators having Moth, former Shock player, and you know, if you guys haven't seen the video that the Gladiators recorded before a couple days ago, they said no ons, no win. Yep. Actually, and you were saying.
Finally, we can reveal
okay, getting the volumes ready, but yeah, I'm excited to see. This is a good matchup. This is just a great matchup to begin with. Obviously, we have the roster for Gladiators here.
No Moth. Surprising.
Yeah, Moth will play, I imagine. It's probably map dependent, just like we've seen with a lot of rosters now, where you know, it's map dependent. It's what comp they're gonna be running. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a really good matchup. We're not, and obviously we're not gonna be sure on the roster that Shock is playing today. But I imagine we're gonna see some interesting lineups.
Yep. I'm predicting a good amount of double shield.
There's a chance we might see double shield. I think we'll be able to tell right away with some of the comps they're running, or the roster that like Shock will run, and we'll know if they're gonna be running double shield or not. But there are maps that are definitely gonna be double shield dependent.
The guy is a nasty break player.
And here, speaking of Shock, here is the Shock roster right now, and my camera is.
Ooh.
Here, 1 second. Let me see.
Wait, what's wrong with your camera?
1 second. Just so chat can see.
Glister Ons in the starting lineup with Violet and Twilight. This is an interesting starting lineup.
There we go. How about that? First match back.
Your camera's good?
Yeah, cameras are good. I was letting everybody see the roster.
Is it just me, or do I look at this team comp or this roster and I go, this is the frag roster? Like, this is all their best, like just pure shooters.
And there we go.
Like all of them.
I'm just
Twilight, the Ana, Violet probably playing some more Zen or Bap.
Yep.
They have both the crazy sniper players in.
I'm excited to see this.
Double sniper, double shield. Interesting.
Let's go. How are the casters levels sound? People in the chat, is the casters too low? I mean, I'll try to adjust Flat's volume in a bit. We'll go with this for now. I also was kind of further away from my mic, and I have like a noise gate that's set up that will make it so when I'm further away from my mic, it won't pick me up as much. So it's more about me being near my mic than it is the volume levels. So.
Well, that's a good match. I like this. Kings Row, Junkertown, Volskaya, Lijiang, and Ilios is starting to off.
Yeah, so they're playing this on Ilios Ruins. That's why.
For Glister to fill, but I also feel like it's like large shoes for Ons to fill.
Here we go.
Like, people are expecting him to just come in and just be Ons, like how he was.
I'm excited to see him. I'm excited to see him play.
Think they're gonna walk out on Widow Hanzo, maybe? Or are they gonna throw him on the Kree?
I think if it's Ruins, he'll be on Widow.
Oh, 100%.
If it's Well, then my guess is maybe like, you think they're gonna run like a McCree Tracer comp? I actually don't know what's the, maybe Echo? Well, actually no, because they would. I don't know what the comps are. Hanzo could work. Yep.
Back into this roster, and yes, you're expected to perform.
I honestly have no idea. I'll be real.
No one's going, oh, well, Oz could throw.
They haven't picked anybody yet. I have no idea what's going on because it's assemble your hero still.
In fact, your team's not allowed to lose
Okay.
ever. If you're a
Okay.
Shock
We're
fan.
seeing...
Arntt's just called up
Widow Ashe.
Like, hey,
Okay.
is Kree and Ashe and
I'm ready to see.
Widow's still in the game.
Wow.
He's like, yeah. Oh yeah, I'm good. Throw me in.
Yep.
I
Well,
don't think they'll stick with the Rhine. I doubt it.
Well, On's first match back. We'll see if he pops off. This is the completely different DPS lineup than we saw before, and we are seeing a little bit more Violet and Twilight combo. So
we did see Arns play
Oh?
Tracer.
there's probably gonna
Probably gonna
TPS.
swap back.
Last year.
So-
Yeah, you're gonna swap back Ashe.
They're running the Sombra Tracer comp versus
Oh.
Tracer Echo.
Creepy in.
So we're
Now,
not
the
seeing a
previous
mirror
games
matchup
really
right
give
here.
you,
And
I
my
guess your idea
cast
of
is getting a little bit
those two teams quite unique in their approach.
not as
This
HD
is a
right
little
now.
closer to what we've been
Your thing's not HD?
Well, it's just like
Oh, yeah,
I might
mine's a
need-
little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, mine is too.
Okay, I was making sure.
Against Echo. You see the,
actually Sombra being able to hack Echo can be really, really
The
good.
Echo was one. That was so close.
And right away we get an early pick for Shock.
This is what
Big hack onto space
hack
right
onto
now.
space?
Exactly. Being able to hack the Diva at any point is amazing, and being able to hack the Echo is also amazing. That's a really good start for Shock. Pretty like you know, just safe fight there, but
Oh, that was such a good stun. Charlie almost went down. The hacks from Ons are actually crazy
actually
right
really,
now.
really, really quick EMP coming up here. I don't know if they're going to use the EMP this fight because I do think it might be a lost fight at this point. But having the EMP already could allow for them to be able to build up ultimates into this next fight without having to use any other ultimates because they don't have any other ultimates, right? So normally you would just come back, kind of take a fight, poke for a little bit. But there's a time in here where they could go for that EMP really fast. Or they could fake the EMP and then try to bait out maybe like Brig ult or something like that. But it looks like they choose to be aggressive on them with the Echo. And wow, what an aggressive play by Gladiators right there. They didn't give him any space.
Be a quick fight in favor of the Gladiators.
That was so smart. They must have realized that they were looking to set up there, and they had EMP coming, and they made the first move, so that now they're ahead of an ults.
Yep. Well, Shock's comp isn't the highest damage comp you can have, while Gladiators are running like a very high damage comp. So for them, they're like their thought process is let's be aggressive and make the play first because. You know, but wow, the EMP actually isn't able to get off before the Winston ultimate, which, I mean, still could be okay. They might be able to get the kill, and it looks like they will.
The rally, though. Oh, they still got it.
Yep. And it looks like Shock might be able to turn this fight around. They have 2 picks already, and based off of what I'm seeing with the Gladiators ultimates right now, they should, the Gladiators will probably lose this, and Shock will be able to build up their ultimates with both tanks.
That was a big sleep, too, and they left him asleep, so it looks like they're only going to get 1 Diva Bomb instead of 4.
Yes, which, as we have seen with Echo play recently, you know, 3 Diva Bombs is usually the norm.
Yep.
So,
And they got the point flip midway through this. They didn't have to win the fight, then go flip it, so that's actually even better.
exactly. So, I mean, so far, it's been a pretty evenly based matchup here. Smurf was forced to have to use Winston out there, which they probably would have wanted to save, but that's fine. Choi's probably going to lead in with a Diva Bomb here at some point, or they're just going to play kind of like a, kind of just like play a defensive comp against them. And it looks like that's what they're going to go for. Glister gets a huge pick on onto Shoot.
Twilight needs some help, though. Twilight needs some help. Wow, they did not get him.
No. Right now, it seems
on
like
the other
there's,
side forcing them out as well.
it seems like there's like multiple like 2v2s going across the map right now.
Yeah, there is. With the trade. Oh my!
And Glister is
rolling.
popping on Tracer right now. Holy crap!
And this is what we actually expected from Glister when he was picked up by the Shock. I think a lot of people thought he was going to have
That actually just made that completely different. Like Shock was, I mean, Gladiators was going to flip that, and now they didn't get it, and now Shock can kind of either delay it out or even win the fight.
Which is, I mean, that fight was looking a little bit in Gladiator's favor to begin with, but then Shock was able to turn it around. And once again, because we're seeing multiple like 2v2s across the map, we're not seeing many like 6v6 fights happening. We're seeing multiple 2v2s, and Shock managed to come out on top on that one. Now, obviously, Gladiators are going to have to use all their ultimates here, so it's really going to depend on what Shock's reaction to that is. And it looks like they're going to reset. And kind of just let them like use their ultimates there. They do. Gladiators do have a pretty good ult pool going into the next fight, and Shock does have EMP, so they're either gonna take one really fast fight, or they're just gonna wait a few seconds and then just go in aggressively with EMP and hope for the best. And I think that's probably gonna be the play. I don't think there's enough time for 2 fights here. I think it's gonna be just 1 fight.
Yep. Glister and Smurf are the ones that are initiating these 2v2s. It looks like, and they're winning most of them.
100%. Glister's playing very well right now. Choi with a huge eat onto the pulse bomb and an EMP. Ooh, big EMP. They
catch them in too.
Able to get Echo Ultimate. And oh my, it looks like based off of what I'm seeing, Shock should be able to get the point here. Now I'm not going to say it's won yet because there is time for Gladiators to get back into this
Space
fight.
will touch.
They will be able to touch, but right now though, they got to be happy with what they're seeing. Gladiators definitely will have a retouch here, but they do get.
They got the hack on space.
They do get the hack on the space, so space will go down here and not be able to use ultimate. Clutch hacks coming in right now from On.
Very huge, honestly. Now the Echo ult comes out, which will be good to help keep them going. Oh, they got a couple picks off of it.
They got both of the supports down. This is actually going to be. I think Shock might have to back out for a second. It's at 99%, but they have a little bit of time to back out and then re-aggress back in. And Glister does get a huge pick onto Shoot.
Glister
right
gets
there.
another pick. Yeah. Glister's going crazy.
Yep. Now Glister obviously did go down right there, but was able to get a support, and I'm not sure who's gonna be able to win this fight. It does look like Gladiators might have it, based off of what I'm seeing, and Choi isn't able to get the ultimate. But wow, what a first map we are seeing right now. First round, like these really insane last fights. This is crazy.
Kevster's is going nuts as well. Honestly, it has to be a big pulse bomb. Oh, it wasn't a big pulse bomb.
Violet does have breakout though. But gets slept, but Violet does have ultimate still on point. This still could somewhat be winnable. They're getting close to EMP also, and they're able to get a pick onto Mirror. They actually might be able to turn with EMP.
There's EMP.
But they were able to get the... Yes. The Nano was the big play there. Wow.
Yep.
If this is a sign to come for what the match is going to be, this is going to be a good matchup.
Yep. That was actually really close.
Now, if it goes to Ruins, though, do you think Shock takes it? See, now, right now, my guess is that Gladiators is probably hoping that it's going to be Well, and it is Well. I don't know if is it random, or does it go in order every single time? I feel like it's still random, right?
I believe it's random, yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Wow. Shock did not look bad there. Gladiators didn't either. That just came down to the last fight. That was literally just...
Glister looks really good on the Tracer.
Yep. I think one thing we saw that Gladiators did well there at the end is that when they knew they had the retake, they had everybody get out a lot sooner. And I think Shock had lost one extra person there, and that is kind of why the play didn't go as well as it could have. But, I mean, Shock still almost brought that back, and I felt like they were definitely at a disadvantage towards the end there, and they still almost were able to take that back. If they didn't nano the Brig there, I think that fight might be different.
I think Ons is going to be the one to watch here this fight.
Yep. Playing McCree, they're going to pocket him.
He's going to be the difference maker.
Yep.
Mercy pocket.
And you're in this right room, but they're going to try to make the first move here. Oh, and they get Violet, but they trade.
It's just a lot of trades happening.
Trades are coming.
Yeah.
If Ons can stay up and just keep getting these, getting these clicks off and getting some shots off,
it's definitely.
That was some good movement.
San Francisco probably need to deal with Kevster.
I don't know who's going to win this.
I actually have no idea either.
I think there's going to be a slight reset here from both teams. They're going to take it to the next fight. But no, Ons gets a huge pick.
Ons gets a couple more.
And they get the point. Wow, what a first team fight. Once again, we're seeing these like multiple 2v2s happen and 3v3s, and we're just seeing like crazy fights. And Shock does take that. No team has an ult right now. Obviously, a little bit of an ult advantage on Shock's side, but for the most part, it's pretty even. It looks like Mira wasn't able to get much damage done during that fight either.
Yep. I want to see the focal point be Ons here. It gives me old Pine vibes of Ilios holding this left side and taking all the pressure in the world, but just cool, calm, collected. They're not forcing them out.
And a huge high noon. And I actually think Shock will win this. Although it looked like Gladiators had an opportunity to win that, it looks like they're going to be able to turn this around. And they're very happy with that fight. They're very happy with that fight.
Huge.
They're going to have a support. Yep. They're going to have a support advantage. They're going to have a tank ult advantage right now. And while Gladiators will have one DPS ult coming up right now, I think the ultimates might go in favor of Shock. We might see this point get to 80%, especially if they don't allow Gladiators to take a really fast fight and get an early pick. I wouldn't doubt it if actually Shock plays the aggressive style here, where the moment we watch Gladiators jump in, we might see Smurf jump in and then counter with his ultimates to disrupt the backline. And that's exactly what we're going to be seeing.
Smurf really wants to...
What in the heck just happened?
Kevster got 2?
Did you see the kill feed? They got like 4 at once right there.
It was exact same time. That was crazy.
I didn't even see what happened. I saw Smurf jump into the back line, and then everybody was dead.
Is this Kevster's first game that's not on high ping?
Yes. this is Kevster's first game not on high ping, because I'm pretty sure they just announced Kevster arriving, I think like 2 weeks ago or like a week ago. Did like a whole video with it, if I recall.
Right.
Well, that Smurf gets it now. Hit with a body grenade early on and slipped. Well,
Ooh, they get a slip on Smurf, but it'll wake up.
Whoa! Nice skew goes down.
That both supports are going down. Smurf just popping off.
Taken care of by Smurf.
Wait, that was beautiful.
But Space.
Oh my.
Space gets through with a self-destruct, but Mew's already fallen, Matt.
I'm not sure who wins this fight. I think Gladiators actually take that.
There's so many crazy individual plays that are being made here. Just skill plays, like the bomb, the primal getting a couple. These are just mechanically just insane plays.
Exactly. We're seeing just a lot of like crazy plays happening. Both teams came to play today. That is for sure.
Yep.
Shock does have a few ultimates coming up here. Gladiators, they do have Brig Ult, which in my opinion, Brig Ultimate is one of the best ults in the game. I'll always say that. Just having that increased armor and sustainability in like these fights is really, really good. But Blister does have a possibility of having a really good pulse bomb here, and does get the stick.
Oh, gets the stick on his shoe. Huge.
That is what we like to see.
I thought he actually stuck. I thought he stuck the Brig actually, but
that's what I thought too. But maybe,
my God,
maybe when they drop it off the shield.
These tracer plays are just insane.
Boy, getting too.
I think it's a new word for crazy tracer play.
He'll sit on the point here. We want to try and get a capture.
It happened.
They gotta win this fight now.
Absolutely.
Now it's Pat.
But Shock has the point now. They're going to be happy with this. They're going to be
huge.
They're going to reset.
If they lose it, they'll still have time.
I think at this point it's going to come down to one last fight. It does look like, so this is a really good play by Shock. What they're trying to do is they're trying to basically initiate with their Brig Ultimate and give them the over armor that they're going to have for a little bit after the Brig Ult going into the fight. Now, obviously, they probably wanted to save that a little bit longer, but they didn't know they were going to disengage so well. But they're going to have a little bit of armor for a while. As you can see Glister here with the armor still on. Can we get another really good pulse bomb there? But as you can see, Space is playing a little more defensive this time. Space is actually like staying with the back line and not trying to do too much. And as I say that, Space goes flying in, but that's because they're making an aggressive play in the front line here, and they're going the double Winston comp. I think Shock might reset this fight. It depends. Smurf is about to get the ultimate too. Yeah, never mind. They're not going to, because Smurf's going to get the ultimate too. And it's going to just start watching the kill feed. A lot's going to happen here soon.
Yeah.
Just start watching it.
They take it on Twilight, actually. That's huge. Oh, there goes Glister. Yeah, they're going to reset. They're going to reset.
It would be very smart to reset right now.
Very late, though. Choi is not going to have time. I don't know if anyone's going to be able to touch.
You're actually right.
Yeah.
No chance to get overtime.
Wow.
Wow.
More than 3 seconds.
That 2% was actually huge because it triggered OT spawns.
Well, that's why, like, when I said, like, they might have to just, like, reset here, I thought, based off of the ultimates that, I think, this is, at least in my opinion, on the first 2 rounds that they just lost, I think it really just came down to what they decided to do on the last team fight. I think they're playing well. I think mechanically they're playing super well. Their teamwork is they're playing super well. It's just at the end there, we saw Gladiators both times commit to disengaging, while Shock would kind of half disengage, kind of try to figure out what they wanted to do. And that's pretty much what we saw. It wasn't like they didn't play bad at all. At all. They just, it was that last fight. If they had decided earlier there, okay, let's get, we're going to lose our Brig, in their spawn, that's fine. Everybody else back away. They wouldn't have been able to re-aggress and then have an opportunity to kind of tap the point, and then they have a better opportunity to win the fight. And you can't do anything about that. That's what happened, by the way. So.
I mean, both the tracer plays on both sides were insane.
Yep.
You honestly can't even be mad about it. I do think, though, that you're right. That rally was a little early on that last fight rally.
It almost felt like they wanted to aggress with the ultimate. Like the idea.
America's largest
the idea is that they wanted to play aggressive there, right? And just make a play. But when they did it a little bit too early, it gave Gladiators time to disengage. If they had waited till they got to like the part, where like that pole is, right where the health pack room is. If they had waited till they got to there, where the disengage wouldn't be as easy because they're not running Lucio, so they don't have speed to disengage it. I think they would have been able to then be able to take the engagement. I think it was probably just about 2 seconds early, and that gave Gladiators time to back away, and then they lost the fight after that. But they still had a chance after that, even with that rally being too early. There's a chance, there was an opportunity to be like, okay, we're gonna lose 2 here. The rest get back, and then we kind of start to slowly touch the point, and that's how you win those fights. Because if you've noticed with a lot of these teams, if there's an opportunity to touch the point, and they touch the point, you have no idea who's going to win those fights.
Right.
Literally, we saw that. Honestly, like the first map, it looked like Shock was just going to win that. The first round, it looked like Shock had that. And Gladiators touched once, they had somebody else tap the point, and by the time they're able to get the overtime going, then they were able to fight with 6 without losing anybody. And that was basically what happened there. It just seemed like at the end there, Shock wanted to, you know, play aggressive than they did. They really couldn't play aggressive, and then they were kind of far up already, and they didn't really know what they wanted to do with that. And that was it, though. Both teams are playing super well.
Yep.
I don't look at that and go, wow, they just got rolled. It was just a good match.
It's very, very small things, but in a game like this, like, those small things are the only things, that, you know, like, because both sides are just, I mean, like, you even see, if you just watch both teams' tracers, like, they're insane. Like,
Glister played very well.
Both of them making. Oh, yeah.
Because this was Glister's, you know, first match, you know, basically playing Tracer, or having to play Tracer. I mean, Glister might have played Tracer in a couple maps, you know, that, maybe, you know, I'm not quite sure, but Glister was actually playing Tracer very well there. We saw Glister in the kill feed a lot. We saw some really good pulse bombs. We saw a lot of really good pressure on their backline, which, honestly, playing against their backline when they have, like, Anna Brig as a Tracer can be super difficult to get any value. And both Tracers were getting value, so I would say that was a pretty good matchup, and I'm curious to see how the second map goes.
They're doing a great job building pulse bombs, honestly. And those pulse bombs were huge. They just didn't miss.
Yep. Now, what map are we going to next? I didn't quite get to see.
Kings Row, I believe.
Kings Row?
Kings Row, I believe.
Well, we know what comps were again.
I haven't seen a Kings Row in 3 days. 4 days.
I saw one. A lot of double shield happening on that map right now.
Yeah. Well, maybe not. Hopefully.
My guess is they're going to do the setup where you have like the Sigma on the high ground above, but I'm not quite sure because these teams have a lot of really good echoes, and these echo players make it really difficult to be able to off angle as Sigma a lot of the time, in my opinion. So, yeah.
I hope it's not double shield, but it
could be.
I have a feeling you're right.
Either way, I'm just excited for this matchup. This is just a good matchup. This is a good game.
This is a very good matchup, honestly. This is tough.
We haven't had OWL, you know, a Shock matches in like 3 weeks. I'm just excited to see him play.
Yeah, true. I'm glad it's back.
Remember, Shock is 7-1. Gladiators are 6-2. These are 2 really good teams. So.
Definitely.
Yep.
I'm gonna hold out hope that we're gonna not see double shield. I'm holding hope.
I guess we will.
Hope. Have hope. Have hope that we won't. That we'll see something else.
Here we go.
League is brought to you by Coca-Cola.
Oh wait, 1 second.
The official refreshment of the awards.
Coca-Cola break.
Yep.
And by IBM.
Oh, IBM.
The official cloud
and
AI
break.
partner of
Also, are we
the
gonna
Overwatch League.
make sure we get some? What do you think, Flats? Do we need to get some? You can get some likes in the video today. What do you think?
Oh, we need some likes on the video. How many we got right now? I haven't seen.
I haven't either.
152. Let's get to that 300 before the game even starts. Is that 152? We can get to that 300 easy. Let's get to 300 before this game starts. Give Shock the boost. What is this? What is this video?
It's like a hype video for the match.
Have you seen this?
I have not actually.
We're not gonna get DMCA'd for this, right? I mean, like, I'm just saying.
I don't think so. I mean, my guess is that, well, technically OWL is also playing this at the time, so no, I don't think so.
저는 리그 오고 나서
Ilios
우리한테 한 번도 진 적이 없어가지고 딱히 할 말이 없네요.
SF Shock, they just sign players. They don't actually play them.
Yo, run it back. Hey, Space, focus on the game, not your hair.
모스 없는 쇼크는 더 이상 우승팀이 아니다.
Let's see Moth play as a gladiator first.
Sorry, Shock. No wants. No win.
Thank you.
I'm trying to find the last meaningful victory from the Gladiators. I think my phone's running out of battery. 바이올렛이 맥크리 하던데 쇼크 딜러는 맥크리도 못하나?
내가 상대방 딜러들보다 잘하는 것 같은데.
FD가님 쇼크하고 나서 히드갓이 됐던데 정신 좀 차리셔야겠어요.
Oh, should I be a fan of Gladiators? Because?
Hey, he retired.
Oh, sorry.
Super. You may be the best Genji on Shock, but you're the 5th best tank player.
캡스터 방금 얼굴 공개했는데 우리한테 지고 나서 다시 숨겠네.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I actually kind of like that.
Yeah, that was cool. What they were doing with it.
I actually like that one. Normally I don't like those, but that one was actually really good.
Well, yeah, it seemed like they're having fun with it. And
yeah,
I like that. That was cool.
Take each other on coming to this week.
There's some heat there. They're like that. See me and my Call of Duty days.
Gliss's one went a little hard. I'm gonna be honest. That was cold. That was like what I told Jay. Do you remember that during the roast thing we did?
Oh yeah. I had some fun with that.
4 and 6 respectively on Diva, man.
Couldn't figure out what was shorter, him or his Apex career.
There's still a few players. Still pretty good. But
I still feel bad about that one, to be honest.
We had a blast with that.
Oh yeah, we had a good time.
Yeah.
The one the 3 of us did, that went on like 30 minutes.
Came in with the shock and then space.
Maybe you and I will have to do one.
Then the Gladiators,
maybe.
they have been at the top for a very long time.
All right.
I think it's even more impressive when you kind of look around.
Okay, so the roster, for anybody wondering, Super is in, Nero is going to be in, and FD God is in.
It could be Orisa or it could be Ryan.
A big player for
so we don't know.
Moth is in. Lot of changes happening under the next map here.
Compositionally, as Moth comes in for ski.
We saw what 3 changes to the Shock roster going into this match?
And then for the
yes.
And we saw
so
2 changes on Gladiators? Gladiators?
Yes. They swapped out Kevster for Birdring and Moth for...
Yeah, Super comes in
for yeah.
And then FD God comes in to play the Lucio, you think here, for Twilight. So, big subs across the board.
This is going to be a good match. I'm ready.
What does it tell you?
Wait, if Super's in, then it's probably double shield.
Well, Super played Orisa for them as well.
Yes, that's why I think it's going to be double shield. As much as we probably want to see the Ryan Diva comp, in my opinion, and we've played enough Ryan Zarya, Ryan Diva on King's Row. This is of course my opinion on the map. If you play that high ground setup in the back, it's really hard to run that comp.
I believe it was out of rotation.
The double shield comp on defense. You can do it, but once like have you noticed that once you get to second point, you can't get past halfway second point if they run double shield. It's like almost impossible.
That second point is awful. I think we got stuck there the other day for 4.5 minutes.
I think I've been stuck there for like the past 3 days. Every time I play that map, I get stuck there when they run double shield.
In San Francisco, have both dealt and received pretty filthy pace, and that was last year. Remember that, unlike rather Assault,
you can see this.
There hasn't been any change to sort of these escort type maps that would make it harder to get faster.
Come on.
So,
show me something else.
So much about the San Francisco.
Show me not double shield.
Glass cannons, they hit real hard, but it's a double-edged sword. Man.
Show me.
Yeah, I believe thinking back to it last
show me.
Tournament we had.
Show me
for sure.
Yep.
And then was it Eichenwald in Blizzard World?
Rialto.
Rialto would be an escort.
Oh, exactly what we thought it was going to be, the dive comp play.
Okay, I didn't see that coming. I'm gonna be honest.
No, I didn't either. Wait.
Wait.
Unlucky, really.
Wait.
It'd be cool if it was a hybrid map.
Wait.
Wait. Waiting.
Wait for it.
Oh.
Wait.
Interesting. So
wait.
Obviously they don't play
wait.
Wait.
This is
look at the comp. Wait.
Wait.
Dive was a thing. World Cup was it 2019?
Wait.
Okay.
Yeah, that was
the finals was like Chinese.
You know what? Okay.
Yes.
And here it is. Rush comp with a Torb.
We did see Sombra Doom play during that.
With a Torb.
I wonder if they go Torb, so that way the Torb turret can try to help, like, because Sombra goes for hacks,
the
right?
Echo.
With the Echo?
I think it's to do with Echo, because that's what last game when we watched. It was like Paris and London. It looked like they were using it because of the Echo.
There's definitely a reason why they went Torb there, and if you saw where they put the turret back there, they have it in a spot they want it to be. But oh wow!
Oh that! Oh ow!
Oh,
to be honest,
wow.
I felt that one. Oh.
Serious up close damage. He's
Yeah, Gladiators win that first fight.
Yeah, they
oh
win that
wow!
first fight.
Actually just kind of creates a crossfire. So there are multiple ways you can kind of play around it. Obviously, it doesn't pay off.
Mirror is known for his Doom, though. His Doom is really good.
Very good.
So maybe this is just a Gladiator-specific thing. You know, like they would normally run Sombra Tracer, maybe.
Actually,
but they're running the Doomfist because the high grounds.
I remember teams were, whenever they would go against, like, Doom comps, a lot of teams were running Torb. I wonder if it's because you can use your E to survive some of the play.
It's very dangerous to Winston.
It's possible.
I wonder if that's why you do it. And then you can have the Torb turret to add, like, a lot of extra damage and give them a little bit more to focus on. Oh, wow.
Oh, my. The hack punch.
Oh, my.
Oh, my. Oh, my.
3 for the Doomfist. This is pretty brutal for San Francisco.
And they get to sleep onto the baby D.
Yeah. I know you feel that. That hurts.
Oh, yeah. It's one of those things where, like, when you get slept right away, it gives you no time to build up your suit, which means they have at least another, like, 4 seconds to just delay it.
Yep.
If you, like, get slept after you get your suit back, like, you can kind of at least wait, and then they have to, now with the way that Diva is, you know what I mean?
He used to.
So if you've noticed, it looks like they have Moth go for the Torb turret every single fight. Because Torb turret gets a lot of value. Especially like in my ranked games. I can't even.
And there it is, Meteor Strike there.
That's big.
I think
wow.
Probably damaged the immortality.
They are playing ultra aggressive and not giving Shock anywhere to go.
And so far, it's working. And one of the biggest concerns I have, if you look at Gladiators ult pool, they're using one ult per fight to win.
So you're the Shock. You don't
and that's my concern. Like, they have an EMP coming up right now, and Shock does have...
If you start investing these...
Yeah, they're just gonna...
Here it comes.
It's gonna happen, right? I was gonna say...
And the timing on Shock, too, they popped Brig out, which sometimes that can be good, but if they get a pick right away, then obviously that's not good. Like, one of the cool things you can do is you can pop Brig out, and Brig out doesn't get hacked.
Yep.
So you can use Brig ult, but they lost Super right away, which then made us they had to reset. But Super comes right in with a pick.
Oh, Mira. Okay.
Gets hit right back though because of the Nano Doom.
Yep.
God, that Nano Doom punch does so much damage.
It's actually crazy. And the thing is like, they don't even have a way to react to what's happening. But Lister with a huge pick right there. That pick onto the Ana was huge, and I think that's why Mira's going for the ult here. Is because at the very least, Mira wants to put some pressure on them and give them time to reset. And look at Gladiators. Remember I talked about how they reset when they really feel like they have to? They knew right away they weren't going to be able to even try to win that fight. Even if they get a kill or two, they're probably going to lose one more, and then the numbers are in favor of Shock. So they're going to go for one more retake here. They don't have any ultimates, so for them it's about building up ultimates right now and getting ultimates out of Shock. You see a big slam coming out of
big slam
right there.
Shatter onto space.
Yeah. Exactly.
I think Super gets hacked there, actually.
That could be a possibility.
Shock winning this fight?
I think so. Possibly.
Because the Gladiators have no choice.
A lot of that gets DM'd.
But they actually get the Nano
comes out on space. They're fighting for the win. They're fighting for it. The EMP comes out too, and the beat. Shock's going for it. I mean, Glads are going for it.
Yeah, at this point, they're very committed to it.
He's chasing that kill. Molten Core thrown to the point, but Birdring's still 100 HP and happy to get out still.
That's that choice buff there clearing off the point, that was huge.
So, and this is the mindset that Gladiators had, is that win or lose that fight, they get ultimates out of Shock, and that's exactly what happened. Look at the ultimate Shock happen. Even if
very low risk, high reward.
Yep. Even if Shock played that perfectly and got like, they pretty much were forced to use at least one ultimate, they would have been happy with even just getting shattered. So for them, that's a big win. Now, the downside of letting the team cap in overtime is they get a little bit more space, so as you can see, they're able to get the cart past the little choke here where you want to engage the cart normally for 2 fights. So if Shock does win this fight, they should have opportunity to be able to win the next fight. Obviously, Gladiators are running Lucio, so they can get back quickly, but I think this is... Shock is happy that the engagement's going to be here. Now, it's whether or not if they win the fight or not.
Also, getting to play in that side of the Mega there, it keeps Mirror from just going and wreaking havoc at least a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you can still be in a really good spot here, but really good play by Super.
Counter pin.
Yeah.
That was so good reaction time.
And if we look right now... I think there's a chance Gladiators can retake, but Shock is not, if they try to, I don't know if they will, but Shock is going to be happy with this right now because they were able to build up ultimates off that and win the fight. And if you look, they're going to set up for a retake. There's no reason not to. I think they're going to because win or lose, they're going to once again force out ultimates. And here they come.
As they do,
there's the hack.
It's going to be super getting hacked at the start.
There's no question. Muse though.
Almost get a pick there, but we do have a big slam coming out of Super.
That actually was a pretty big slam.
Oh, it was. That was huge. And that might actually win the fight for them.
Yep. The immortality comes out too and just keeps Super alive, so Super can just going to do so much damage against
Excellent
that
shatter and decision making by Super there, because it was a very, 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 very small window to be able to make that play.
Yep. Very small.
You get EMP, you get hacked, you can, there's a lot that can happen. That was a very, very smart decision, a very quick decision, and they won the fight because of that. And now Shock once again. Now they have 2 minutes, right? It wasn't looking too good. Gladiators do have ultimates, right? And I wouldn't doubt it if we see Gladiators take an aggressive play here, so they can have at least one more retake. At this point, what they need to do is try to get out Shock's ult pool. So they're going to go in and be aggressive. If they win the fight, great. If they don't, they can just come out for a retake.
Super's doing a great job countercharging Mirror now, actually.
That is
he did it again there and kept someone from getting a kill.
Well, how do you countercharge on first point a lot of the time when you, like, most of the engagements, like, they just happen so fast?
The tactical crouch, crouch key got stuck.
It happens. So it looks like Super can have another big shatter here. It's going to come down to how good this Winston bubble is going to be.
Yep. Well, the window, they might be able to break it. Oh, that's... Good job staying alive, honestly.
And there it is, big slam again!
There it is, that's another big slam. Their Doom still got the nano when he comes down, though, so you got to be really careful.
Yep.
Okay,
I honestly think they might take this. I think they might finish.
They really might. They're actually doing a great job of supporting Super, because Super can just the 85 swings. If you just can free swing, it does so much damage.
And there you go.
The problem is letting Ryan be able to swing.
So let's talk about what happened there, because people are going to be like, "Wow, Gladiators were dominating on first. How does that happen?" I've talked about this on stream before too. The risk-reward of going for the last fight in an OT is
potentially the Gladiators.
If you lose the fight, which is fine, you get ultimates out. But the downside of that, especially if you die in overtime or right at the end on your respawns, it gives them basically one less team fight on second, which allows them to get back into the game. It's actually one of the cool things about Overwatch sometimes, where if you lose, like if you're on defense and attacks having a bad attack, but if you lose the second fight, or if you're on defense and you lose the last fight on like a point in overtime, it gives the other team an opportunity to then take map control back and have a chance to win. That's why like every fight is like super important when you are taking those fights. Like Shock was getting rolled, easily could have been done there, but they didn't. They kept going. They kept going. They won the fight. They won the most important fight, which is the second fight, and then they just popped off.
It takes them a while to get the measure of the Doomfist.
The counterpins on Super needs to be pointed out too. Those
I agree.
Were huge.
I will say, and as you know as a Ryan player, trying to counterpin Doom on first point attack though can be super difficult.
That's impossible.
Because there's so many different spots that like Doom can come from, and the engages that happen, especially like around the statue, can make it difficult. But on second point and third point, there's not many really good engages they can do. So at that point for Super, as long as he's doing a good job of managing his shield and paying attention to when that play comes. And that's what he did. He played it perfectly, and that's why they were able to take that. I mean,
Doom can bait it too, and if you miss the counterpin, you get sent to Narnia. Oh, that's not good. Done that before.
Gets himself into the back line pretty early on.
Very, very good play by Shock right there. Very smart. Exciting match.
And again, it's a short jump from using a shield down.
He's gonna be just pocketing Glister up here on the high ground.
Yep, absolutely.
As they come.
I'm interested to see how they play it. How they plan to play this. They're gonna fall back, look for Maywell.
San Francisco just bend back down.
I think so. I'm not quite sure. I really haven't seen this specific setup.
And then wall himself to get away.
Oh, that was a good wall though.
It was a good play by Nero there to react.
Yep. Good recovery.
Now this is a spot where if I'm Shock, I play to disengage out, but half their team is already there and they can't do anything about that. They still can't retake, by the way. Let me explain why. Gladiators haven't really got time on the point yet, and FD God died first, which means FD God can actually bring the team back a lot sooner. Doesn't have to actually get out of the fight, and they can try to re-engage it. If not, they're going to pick that fight here. Exactly. And as you can see, they're able to get back to the point. If they lose this fight, And actually, this is smart. This disengage they just did was actually super smart. Because Gladiators know they can't really push that without getting rolled. And if they do get aggressive and win the fight, they're forced to use ultimates. And I think Shock is trying to do that right now. Super can't really do much right there.
Yeah, Super just gets isolated because of the Nano Winston play.
But that's the retake we're talking about there. Now, we talked about earlier how obviously when you take that fight and then you get rolled after that, you know, it's not as good. But keep in mind there's no overtime spawns this time. So Shock will actually be able to take a fight where they want to. They might be able to take the fight a little bit sooner.
As long as they don't get staggered here.
Exactly, but they're not.
I don't think they will.
Yep. Shock will probably take this fight a little bit sooner. That way they have a better retake on third. Or they'll commit to the idea of we're going to take the fight at the same spot. But I think they want to engage the fight before it goes past the library right there, the bookstore.
They probably know they have EMP too, and they'd rather get that out.
They want to fight right before the bookstore. I think that's what they're going to go for. And we're seeing them start to engage near that area. They're going to get EMP'd here, but once again, getting this ultimate out is huge, but a really good job staying alive. And we might, a great beat coming out of FD God. And there you go. They took the fight where they wanted to, and that's the difference between like overtime spawns and no overtime spawn. Now, whether or not they win the fight, can't do much about that.
Ooh. That's just a good bomb.
Yep.
But there's a good thing though out of that is because of where they took the fight and not OT, they will have another fight. Super did not shatter.
Yep. I don't think they really wanted to commit ults there. I think once there was obviously once they got a lot of the ultimates out, the best thing they can do is save ults for that and then do a really solid retake. And because they got this cart at a better spot, FD God's actually able to switch to Brig here because they don't need speed to get back as quickly. And that's what we're seeing right now.
Keep an eye on the sound. Yeah.
I was gonna say there's not gonna.
Anyway,
yeah, I was gonna say the fight's about to start. What's okay? Well, we don't know how Violet got picked off.
I don't know. Big slam though.
That's huge.
That gives them an opportunity here. It really depends if Glister gets a really good ultimate off here.
Super needs help though.
Big pick.
The Torm Turret is popping. Torm Turret's popping.
It really is. That was actually I actually like that ultimate right there. Out of Glister because I think it gave them opportunity and time to reset. And now it looks like Gladiators might have to fall back a little bit.
Yeah, they used the EMP too. They really think this is winnable. They're gonna nano mirror and Mirror's looking. Oh, Violet gets caught. And he's gonna get Super from behind. I want just like it's hard to tell from his POV. Okay.
It was tough to say what was gonna happen that fight, and like they're still there, and they're still forced on ultimate.
Gets mech back in Crush?
I don't think they will.
Space takes him down, and FD God is the last one standing. A beat for that one is curious.
Forcing beat too though for Torbal. You know what?
And they're already back again.
They're forcing more ults. This is even though this doesn't look like a fight Shock's gonna win. Like,
I mean, they're
how much time they just killed, and so many ults just came out.
That must have been close to a minute and a half.
Yeah.
And once again, they're not happy about losing that fight, but they're happy they're able to reset their ult. Unfortunately, though, Gladiators does have EMP. So this play right here,
Shock has rally.
They do, but FD God needs to use that rally before the EMP happens, or they need to commit to disengage. If they don't do that, then they can lose this fight. And there we go.
Dude, even if this Torm Turret angle.
See, now
this time it's a good one. Goes up.
That was just a good EMP. There's nothing you can do about that. They tried even to time the lamp to do it perfectly, but honestly, that was just a good EMP. We do have some really good ultimates though on Shock for retake. They're gonna have Reaper ultimate. They're gonna have a ton of ults.
Troy's getting really staggered though.
But they window right now, and they're actually able to get a pick on space.
Wait, that's huge. And Troy did not go down. Troy got out.
Yeah. Actually, I think Shock takes this fight.
Shock definitely does take this fight.
Yeah, they just reset.
Wow, that was actually such a good little disengage and wait. That was perfect.
Troy did, one of the things we didn't see there. Troy did a really good job of staying alive.
Yeah.
Troy managed to be in their backline, stay alive, and then fly away, which then gave them opportunity to heal, and they were able to get the play. And now, Shock is able to play a little bit, kind of the way they want to play third point here.
immortality.
I think
can't tell from this angle, but
I can't tell. I think he shattered.
Yeah, he definitely
did, but I don't know what
happened.
happened. Glister has a huge Reaper ult here. Glister can teleport in, because if you look, D.Va's not there in the team fight. D.Va's not with them right now. This is a timing for Glister to get a huge play. But they do fall back.
They're still alive.
You keep fighting this if you're the Gladiators. Primal Nano.
There it is. This is the play I'm talking about.
Glister's death loss must be huge here.
This
Okay.
death loss
You know
has
what?
gotta be
Force his
common.
nade though. Force his nade.
Force his nade. A lot of DM. These guys gotta use it now.
Yeah.
But to go for the ultimate anyway. Space so good at staying alive and keeping that defense matrix active. The Gladiators are going to
Still a very, very close game. I do want to
So
point out,
Yep.
I don't think there was a really good spot to end up Reaper ult in there. So like if you're seeing that and you're like, oh wow, why not Reaper ult? I don't think there was really that good of an opportunity. Reaper ult is kind of
they
like,
had the nade, they had the sleep, they had the defense matrix there. There wasn't anything to go for.
You ever try to high noon?
Every single time. He's there in the back to protect the supports, and then when Glister doubles back towards the point, to use
never.
there, space
You know when you high noon in like the middle of the open, and as you high noon you go, oh, this probably isn't the play.
Yep.
Against that comp, that's the same thing for Reaper Ultimate. You pretty much have to wait for the perfect time. Because if you don't, they DM it, they bash you, they boop you, they nade you, and you die immediately. Obviously, I don't think they had Brig during that fight, but they can nade you, they can sleep you. There's so much there that's involved that it was really hard to get a good Reaper ult off. And the reason why, for anybody wondering why they're playing Reaper, is because they're trying to. It's about. Against the comp they're playing, the comp that Gladiators is playing is about really fast fights and like getting a lot of really like almost like instant kills, right? Reaper can survive that really well, and the same goes for Torb, where Torb is a little bit easier to kill, but because when Torb uses their, I think it's their E, which increases their armor, they have a lot more survivability, which gives them survivability. That's how the comp is supposed to work. Is that if you look at their comp, most of the heroes can survive, right? And that's why we're seeing that comp engagement. Exactly. But if you stop the initial engagement, like let's say that Shock comes here fast and just stops the first team fight that they've been losing to, they'll win the fight. You'll see.
They got the torch turret on the flank.
Yep. You'll see.
Just to make sure that Mirror can't swing in. That's the die from Muse, though.
Really good counter charge there.
That was such a good bait by Super.
Exactly.
He was looking for that. They had that. That was literally the plan.
So they survived the first engagement. Gladiators are going to fall back and go for one more take here because they're going to be able to get back, pretty fast because they have Lucio once again. But Shock now has the map control and already has the percentage, which is going to be really good no matter what here. Now we got to watch for the engagement, watch what Super's reaction is to this, and I think that will be a pretty good nade in the back there. But actually, Super does a good job of being able to like do some damage and engage. I'm okay with that aggression.
Help though.
Yeah, but I'm okay with the damage that he did there. I actually think they might be able to fight around.
Really good damage.
But a really good nade coming from Gladiators right now.
Yep. That's gonna be trouble.
There's a chance though that if they play a little bit slow here, they can actually retake, and we're seeing that. They're gonna have Brig ult here in a second.
Oh, Choi gets hit by that crush. Oof, it's a big chunk of his HP.
Straight to the face is a big deal against these compositions. Muse wanted to try and chase Violet all the way to spawn, but he couldn't.
I think Gladiators get it.
Yeah, Gladiators got this.
To shut the Shock out.
Yep.
And this is obviously you get 90
good nade
for the Shock.
Good nade.
When you're playing against these Sombra comps, a minute and 36, you're going to get at least one EMP.
I still think they're happy with that, though. I mean, they've given themselves an opportunity here to basically win one team fight, maybe two team fights, and win there. And we did see Shock have a little. Remember how we talked about the blast map where they're decision making at the end of a fight? They actually gave themselves an opportunity there to actually still win that fight by having like disengage it properly and then having one person touch the point, then have another person touch the point. I do think if Choi gets D.Va bomb there, I think we see a little bit of that fight might go in favor of Shock, but.
At the start,
can't do much about that. They just got to look at what they did wrong on the first part of defense here and try to just, I think, in my opinion, what happened last time is they tried that May comp, and they really didn't know what to do against the comp, so now they're going the Torb comp again, which is actually a pretty good defensive comp. If you can get Torb ult in time here, that Torb ult can win the game.
I love Torb crouch walking. It just looks so good.
Yep.
So small.
And as we know, Nero will play Torb a lot in ranked.
Trying to limit some of the sort of poke that might come their way.
That's why teams have always, when Sombra's in the mix, will look towards...
Realistically, I think Gladiators is going to try to play for an EMP. That's their play right now. They're gonna play for EMP.
They can try that, and I think it might be an okay play. But I do want to point out that Shock, if they have enough time to build up some of their major ultimates here, they can still, like, if they get Torvald in time, right, and they play off an EMP, they can use that as actually as a defensive ult. Where you kind of just like Torvald around you, and they can't really do much with it. I don't think that's what they're playing for, but we'll see. Huge start. That is exactly what you want to see.
Yep.
Obviously, it's early on in the game, so Gladiators are like, okay, whatever, we just reset. But that's a big pick.
Still, the Gladiators want to test this. Mirror will be back soon enough.
So Gladiators are touching the point there because they want to at least see if, like, you know, Shock might make a mistake there.
Look at this.
You know, someone drops early, but Shock is going to communicate that.
Yep.
So
they're trying to make it even go as far as possible to get the Glister too.
They're actually playing for. They're playing for the nano play. They're playing for the nano play.
Yep.
They have nano. They're going to go in right now. This is going to be their timing because they know that if they don't do the timing now, it will give Shock opportunity to get some ultimates. And here it is.
Mirror was struggling. Okay, Muse hasn't jumped yet. He still hasn't jumped. He just walks up.
This is going to be an intense last fight, by the way.
Make a dangerous decision, but he jumps in the back line. So sneaky. The
the flank.
That is perfect. No, he body blocks so many of the San Francisco plays into that choke.
Wait, that's actually Shock played that really well.
Yep. They knew that was coming too, by the way. So the downside of that strategy.
Okay.
The downside of that strategy is that you give them ultimates. So Shock knew right away what their play was, so they already pre-planned to disengage that play. They knew it was coming. Now, they're not even close to EMP, by the way. There's a time in here where they can just pop window right now, and if they play this smart, they can actually get the kill.
This time they can take back space. Oh, it's exact. Oh, huge. It's exactly what he needed because the Winston tries to jump in and take that space back.
EMP is coming. EMP is coming.
It's coming at some point.
And there we go. See?
Wow. Wow, that was huge. So Torb, Ryan, Kree, Diva. That, you know what? I liked it.
Yep. You ever play a game of Ranked and you know they're building Nano, and then everybody just sits there, knowing the play's coming, like, yeah, they're building Nano to jump in with Winston. And then everybody just goes, oh, okay, let's sit here. Shock went, you know what? We're not going to do that. We're going to go set up in a spot where if they Nano one of their players in, we're going to be prepared to disengage that because we have time to give them even 2 ticks there. And they committed to that, and they popped off. See what I mean, though? Like, there's just like these little things that are happening in the game right now, and what we saw, the difference right now between the first map and the second map, and I really do believe Shock could have won the first map, was their decision-making in those type of situations, where it was, we're going to disengage. It was their disengages that were losing them fights. Not the way they were playing as a team when it came to, like, you know, target focus or playmaking. It was their decision-making when it came to disengages. And then they made better disengages, and then we saw them win the map because of that.
Yep.
That's after getting full held, by the way. For anybody who just got here, they were full held on first point for 4 minutes. I know you say, what do you mean there's 4 minutes on the clock? Yeah, well, it went to overtime, right? 4 minutes they were getting held for. And they still managed to pop off and win the game because they made proper decision-making when it came to those disengages and when a fight was already over or when a fight was won. And that bought them enough time, and that's it. Like, you think about, like, the little things that happened, like on second point where they managed to stall that point for 1.5 minutes. That was 1.5 minutes off the clock.
Which is huge because then at the end of the game, they didn't have that time to build that EMP to make it their effective play. They had the nano play. That was it.
Exactly. We got a matchup. You'd love to see it.
Yeah, it's just good Overwatch. You'll love seeing good Overwatch.
Yep.
I'm glad it wasn't double shield.
True.
I'm glad. Just.
You love to see it.
That's all I hoped for.
Yep.
What was next? It was Junkertown.
Junkertown?
Yeah, we'll probably see it for Junkertown though.
Yeah, I'm expecting double shield Junkertown. Although there is a ball comp on this map that will not be played because it never works when I play it. So,
well,
that's my reasoning.
Do you think it's? Well, maybe it's because the comp is fine, but maybe the ball isn't.
I mean, you were playing Wrecking Ball.
Oh no, I wasn't. Don't you say that. You will. The only time you catch me on ball is I'm trying to come back from spawn.
I mean, you do that all the time. You're coming back from spawn all the time.
Fair, but I meant like the stall or, you know.
Yeah.
you know, like get back to the point last second, you know. Yeah, that's it. That's the one time I do it.
Okay.
Wait, am I wrong? Do I go ball other times?
I mean, you know, sometimes. But it's all good.
What else?
What do you think is better, your Wrecking Ball or your Orisa?
My Roadhog.
Oh no.
What do you mean? My hog is good.
Yeah, flats the other day. Dude, I finished the game with 39% hook accuracy. That's up 10%.
It was 59, okay?
Actually, I think it was 52%. Remember, it was really high.
It was 52,
and then,
actually.
And then you missed like 12 hooks in a row on Anna. You're like, yeah, no. I couldn't hook the Anna at all. Oh, you love to see it.
Yeah. Look, Anna is hard to hit, okay? You know? Like,
What were you saying about the likes?
What about the lights?
The likes?
The likes?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, we got to 300 likes and Shock won that game. So if Shock won, if you guys want Shock to win the next map, it's got to get to 700.
There's no guarantee.
What do you mean?
I mean,
if you get to 700, their chances of winning goes up.
okay. I mean, I mean, they're here to play. I'm ready. I am ready. This is fun. This has been a great matchup.
It has been, actually. It actually has been. All right,
Basically, what
Junkertown.
Just get some YouTube likes is what he's saying on that video.
Yep. And if you haven't subbed to the channel, they're almost to 100K.
They actually are almost to 100K. Literally, I think they're like 2K away. So, you're getting there.
Imagine being part of those last subs, chat. It's like your subs hold like, you know, first 100K.
We've actually narrowed them down to the top
That's
five.
meaning.
Your chance to vote for the winner. Head over to Blizzard.
Keep it going. I hope everybody here is enjoying the watch party. We do these every single match. We have a watch party tomorrow too.
Yup, tomorrow.
I forgot who they're playing. I think it's actually an early match tomorrow. I think it's at 3.
Get involved.
3, okay.
Again, there's money on the
So,
line.
I think it's 3.
So far, and we need your help finding the best one.
Have any of them included our footage from Casters to Masters?
All right, so it
No
looks
changes.
like no changes.
That's interesting.
No changes
Okay.
on Shock, but I do think, if I'm correct here, I think Gladiators have brought in
If you want to know how to take
2
down a Bastion
new players.
top,
Skewed. They
Yep.
brought in Skewed and they swapped out Mirror for Kevster.
Yep.
Here's our
So
substitution though. Mirror.
I'm curious to see what they
gets
run.
subbed out for Kevster. He comes
Widow
back.
Ash, I
Actually got
bet,
a few
from
subs,
Gladiators.
across the board here that you'll notice is we're heading to Junkertown.
I will say this, by the way.
And
We see a very different kind of map. Different kind of
Glister's been playing very well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
quite interesting.
Glister has been playing really
you know,
well.
a big match for Glister because it's his first time. You know,
Tells you they're gonna play some
running the these with the way the roster is now. It's just his first time playing. This really big role. You know, we saw Glister come in and pop off on maps like Junkertown and Dorado, but now we're seeing Glister on every map.
Yep.
And he's playing very well.
Very well.
Playing very well.
And he's played quite well. I think a bigger role than I expected coming into the season.
Yeah, I don't think any of us really.
I think we're gonna see. We're probably gonna see Nero play
A
Echo,
little bit harder to make your presence felt.
or maybe the Hanzo. We could see his Hanzo too.
Ooh, it's Junkertown time.
Oh man, I am not the biggest Junkertown fan, to be honest. Yeah, it's just not my map, to be honest.
Okay. I was
As
wondering.
Brigitte on this team, it looks really good. It's clear.
Why, you like Junkertown?
You know what? I have gotten better at Junkertown. Now, let me explain why I've
You
gotten better
like
at Junkertown.
Junkertown.
I didn't say it's my favorite map.
So really,
I will say this.
Not many teams
I enjoy it a little bit more. And this is my Junkertown advice.
It's true. We don't see it.
Junkertown is all about map control. If you constantly go for the high ground control and get the high ground control in Junkertown, you'll have a much better time if you just keep going on like the low ground a lot of fights. That goes for any map, but I used to on Junkertown find myself not trying to take that like high ground battle, and I would just constantly just get rolled. Right. So now I will go up the stairs on second point attack on Junkertown and then get rolled 5 times. But that one time I take high ground.
You played him on map
We'll cap second.
1. He looked pretty.
Interesting. Rolling out here.
Maybe even Onso probably feels like.
Are we seeing a rush comp?
Let's kind of, go back to
We
what
are.
we're doing and work his way in.
Well, I know what's going to happen when we play Junkertown next.
Yep. No more saying go Arista.
Yep. Flats already has the timestamp on this video.
Yep. This has been saved.
Yep. This one time on Junkertown where a team holds spawn.
Yep.
We'll now be doing that every single time.
Yep. Hope you're ready to go.
Yep. Yep.
Widow does nothing against this close hold, so you have to switch this. 10 times out of 10.
The Kevs are Doomfist. Okay.
To the Doomfist.
So the idea of this strat is hold close, and you create 3 team fights if done correctly, in comparison to 2 team fights. Sometimes only 1 team fight. It's all about the idea that you buy a ton of time, and no matter what, even if you get rolled, you get like 2 minutes off the clock.
Yep.
What we need to see happen now is Shocko die in that cart real fast.
Glister. Oh, misses a couple shots.
Just reset. We're just resetting.
Oh. Honestly, if you got that pick, that could have been different.
He didn't want to build high noon that fast right there, because then like, he might try to use the high noon mid-fight, and then it might not be the best play. So,
yeah. Well, you don't want to build ult and swap to Reaper.
Yeah. Well, you don't give him any charge. Don't give him any support charge.
Right.
So that's what the play was. Okay, so that's just not the best start, but
that's definitely not the best start.
The big play here is actually Nero going to cart there, and then stopping the cart, because that gives him a 3rd fight. And look at that, already a minute off the clock, literally doing
and they get primal out too.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about.
Look at the ults on Gladiators. They don't have everything.
The next map was just so interesting on King's Row, but
they don't have
I think it makes a huge impact.
Well, they don't have Cole.
Yeah.
And Shock is Cole. Oh, poor Super. I feel for you.
They got 2 ultimates out. That's good. Look at that. That's better than our holds. There's usually a Widowmaker on the other team hitting 4 headshots.
Well, you would have just sat back and watched me die. Like, see, they commit. Like, they're like, okay, you know, we might die, but we're all going in. Like, you just sit there and laugh at me with your mic muted.
Oh no, I'll unmute my mic.
Oh, dude, I have heard sometimes where something happens, and then like 10 seconds later you make a call out and you can barely breathe.
Well, I mean, you'll be like, oh, I got my jump cooldown, I'm going in. I'm like, all right, well, we didn't know you were gonna do that. Let us know what's going on. Wow, huge pick by Glister.
That is huge. I mean, other than I'm going in.
Great start in that fight for Kevster. Glister was definitely waiting for him there.
This flank Kree though is actually big, getting good shots off.
I'm noticing a lot of this.
They're always going to be reacting.
Did a lot of damage though there. Did a lot of damage last second.
A lot of damage.
Yep. Big slam.
Big slam.
Like that, and eventually
the punch though from Kevster. And Glads are still winning the fight though.
I'm not sure if they're going to win the fight though. I actually think they're going to lose that fight. And once again, in the rush comp, a lot of the time, at least in my opinion, you're not too worried about your ult management when it comes to like using Diva Bomb there. You're not worried about that, because Diva Bomb, when you're playing Diva, you're there to to DM, put in some good damage, and be able to like I said, peel for your teammates and make those efficient plays, right?
Plus meteor strike combination,
so
you could potentially.
They're pretty happy with that. They only had to use Diva out there to make sure they won that fight. That was pretty good. And the card isn't moving. Anytime the card isn't moving is a good thing.
Yep.
Well, actually, unless you're on attack,
well.
and quite frequently I find the cards isn't moving.
So. Yeah. Especially recently.
The fight transitions to the high ground. Of course, Doomfist is still a problem. Kevster can still make.
But anyways, they're gonna kill and get Kevster, which is good. But he actually got a kill off that? Wow, that's just impressive.
Just remember that in these team fights, for Shock, they're very happy with these engages they're taking. Whether or not they win the fight, they're fighting close, they're not giving them too much space, and that's exactly what we want to see.
You look at the Tortar's popping.
Yep.
There it is, top left.
Gets space actually less than half.
It's going to force the Gladiators away for the time being. Muse is always going to be back in the fight.
Big EMP coming here from Gladiators.
Yep.
Wow, but a really good beat coming out of Shock.
That was a huge beat.
And a really good
and the bomb didn't land at the angle to get them on the stairs too.
Yep. And now Shock can regress. There actually is a Shatter coming out here too. I don't know if he's going to use it, but
I think he's going to try to save it.
Yeah, I don't know if he can really. Oh, big slam!
Oh, there it is.
They're going to keep pushing this forward. Space.
Really good play by Space right there, by the way.
Yep.
That was really good.
The Winston was going to go down.
Loses suit, Winston still survives that.
I'd
say that's a really solid second point.
Yeah, no, that was solid, but I feel that Ryan just it's just that nerf.
They're going for it, by the way.
You take a lot of damage.
They're going for it.
Yeah, they get scouted by the Sombra.
And look at Glister on the flank, though. Glister's actually flanking right now. Might be able to get her free check.
I can see Kevster's health going up and down, so he's probably getting shot.
Oh, they're on Echo now.
Oh, lovely.
Yep.
I love Echo.
Yeah, I think at this point, once again, this is one of those fights where win or lose, I mean, Chalk's happy with this because they're just taking a really fast engagement and buying time.
Where's ult charge?
But wait. But we did see the pick come out on the bird ring there, and actually they might have a chance.
Choi is holding point too.
Yep. Super just charged the first point right there, so we're gonna see what happens. Gets the pick onto Brig and the Ana.
Wait, actually
what
insane.
A play. I don't know. I didn't see. I think did Super get booped on the charge there?
I think he got booped on the charge.
I don't know if he meant to do that, but it
I don't think he sent it to their team. At least I don't think so.
But if he did, great play either way. Even if he didn't, great play. Wins the fight, and actually, this is coming down to one last team fight. And if we look at the ult pool right now, there's an ultimate I'm looking at right now, Nero's ult. I think that ultimate can pop off right now. Because once again, if Nero can hide here and actually build that ultimate and not get EMP'd,
up too, and Shatter coming up. This is wait a minute. This is actually a really good situation.
Yep. So right now you see Choi just randomly shooting. He's trying to spot for the Sombra. That's what you do on D.Va whenever there's a Sombra. You just hold left click because you're just trying to randomly shoot the Sombra. That way you can spot where the Sombra's at.
Yep.
They're all hiding and putting Super on the cart to try and bait it just
yeah,
really
they're trying to isolate Super out of this.
And look at the ultimate they use defensively there. They use the Torb ultimate. Yep. They have no space on the cart.
Oh my god, the
and then
flank
they pop
shatter
off
too. With the high noon as well.
Yep. Perfectly played right there.
Looks like they run short.
Perfectly played.
At a part of the map, the team.
Wow.
I mean, I guess after the Dallas Fuel at the
did Super just let through him die?
You know what? Doesn't matter because they won the fight.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I'm noticing why. I think one of the reasons why, and I could be completely wrong. It's just this is my theory is that Torb ult as a defensive ult against like dive comps and against like comps that want to run Sombra and EMP a lot. I feel like is a really strong ultimate for that.
Yeah, it actually is.
Because if you
the
EMP,
AoE.
you still can use it though, right? Or does it get canceled? I don't know how that works.
Well, I think it gets canceled if you're already
using it, but if you time it right, yeah. So you're gonna be fine.
Actually, does it cancel?
I don't know. Does it cancel it?
I mean,
logically,
I'd say yeah, it should, but
back to the initial point is that it's just a really good defensive ult. You just basically you just have the Torb ult go pretty much around your team, and they take a ton of that damage. Like you can't dive onto that area of the map.
Right.
It's really strong, and you have the extra survivability, and you have the Torb card.
Does flank shatter too.
Woo!
My God.
Gets 3. I thought he only got 2, but 3.
Yep,
Oof.
big slam. And I think Glister might have DMX Space there, but Space was nano.
Yeah, I mean, it was over at that point.
Yep.
He had a D.Va bomb, and, you know.
Now we're seeing Genji. Genji is being played.
So I wonder if
they're playing Genji. Gladiators. They're playing close, and they're playing Genji.
Substitutions here.
Interesting.
Yep.
And they would have had to match a double sniper. Because if you saw this.
So what Shock did there, by the way, I love that play. They took that room there where teams like to stay, and now they're going to kind of just chill there for a little bit and realize that they could just win the fight overall. They got to the cart, and now they have like map control now. This is like, it doesn't seem like they have map control, but where they're at right now, they have map control. That cart pushing that far, yep.
They're pushing the cart too, and it's they're just leaving Super down there.
Yep. Extremely good disengage.
Yep. Turret is just
woo! Okay, Glister is. Like I said, Glister's playing a very, very solid series so far.
Oh yeah.
Playing extremely well.
I think he's just kind of coming into his own now. He's got the confidence, like.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of saw in the last couple times we saw him, like the first time he wasn't like taking the aggressive peaks or so, but now the confidence is there now.
Yeah, it comes with building confidence within the team. It just takes time. You know, that's why how you start at the beginning of the season in comparison to how teams can finish it like at the end of the year. A lot can build that chemistry with your team.
Yep.
Muse gets nanoed. He dives in, but not too deep. Glister does
Gets hacked out of the high noon. But the Tor Bolt, like you said, is this Tor Bolt. And here comes their best player, the Torp turret. He pops out, and guess what? The Genji isn't going to see it.
Yep.
Genji doesn't see it till it's too late. Torp turret, like,
Exactly.
there you go. Torp turret gets the kill.
Yeah. One thing I want to point out, by the way, and this goes for our ranked games too. If you're noticing that a lot of the time they're not actually playing Lucio in the comp either. They're making the switch from Lucio to Brig like a lot based off of what the other team's running. So it might be okay to run Ryan comps, but without not even playing with Lucio.
I mean, I've been noticing it's very, very different. It's no longer.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing though. Is it's not playing Ryan the way Ryan is supposed to be played. It's now kind of like, for lack of a better way to describe it, it's the Diamond Ryan now. Instead of playing ultra aggressive and trying to make space and, you know, frag and get those kills and make sure you don't die, now it's much more waiting, biding your time, trying to, you know, like, kind of bait them onto you. Like, on first point, we saw actually Super had the Brig right next to him, but instead of chasing the Brig, just went back to cart and waited. You know, I was like, could have went and got that kill, but probably would have been overextended for it. And I think that's a part of the reason of not having Lucio is you can't go for those kills in those plays.
I'm popping up on Ryan now.
So you don't have an EMP. You just have
That's
That's a scary thought.
Has to be
Well, your play style, yeah, is you do that, but you're behind the Torp turret.
Last time I played Ryan, well, they nerfed Ryan. All right, here we go. We have a Nano Blade coming in, which, I mean, I think this is the one play Gladiators is going to have.
They're going to win this fight.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is their own fight.
This is the one play they're going to get. But Nero gets 2 picks right there. Now, I do think Gladiators will get back in time, but that was some really good picks.
Yeah, honestly, Glad's used a lot of ults right there. They only got 1 ult coming up, and Shock needs 1 fight.
Yep.
The shock.
All right, let's see what happens. I'm ready.
I think they're probably going to try to force him off the high ground from underneath. That's what I think.
My guess is they're going to go for high ground control. They have Torball.
Nero's got the hammer.
They can actually use the Torball to create space.
Yep.
Like high ground. They might just use the Torball. Like, I wouldn't doubt it if Nero just pops Torball and just uses it to, like, there you go.
Oh, and he got him in the small room with the Torball?
Yep.
Oh, baby.
Yep. And it creates that space and gives them that you know, that keeps them alive. See what I'm saying? They're using the Torball as a defensive ult.
Yep.
More than, like, trying to get kills with it. Ooh, huge pin.
Glister is protected once more
Huge
from
pin.
the menace that is Muse, and he'll stay safe for now. San Francisco
Glister's playing much better with Violet now. They're really stacking on top of each other.
I like how nobody was shooting the Torp turret right there.
Dude, look at it, it's still going.
It just got value. I think Nero just built like 40% ult charge when he wasn't even in the fight.
Torp turret, Torp diff.
Yep.
This is an unironic Torp turret diff. Oh, let's see the Winston.
Wait.
See the Winston?
Yeah, but Winston is... They have no ults.
Goodbye.
And there we go. I'm loving that. I actually love that idea of using Torball. That's literally what they're doing. They're basically creating like a... It's almost like a we call like AOE, like an area of effect, where like you can't push into them. The Torball is too good that they're using the Torball to create space and prevent dives. I love that.
Can we get a turret diff? Can we get a turret diff in chat?
Yeah.
I think this is a turret diff right now.
To what you said about San Francisco setting up for
And they got close to 700 likes, which increased the chances of that match.
Setting up for expected roster from San Francisco and not getting that.
Yeah, see, that's just how it goes. You get the more there are, the closer it gets.
I love that though. I love that. Just like they're basically saying, like, we're gonna use Torball. Like, if you're gonna dive us, once we get Torball, we're gonna use that to create space and get map control. And I love that strategy because it's like normally when you think of Torball, you think of just using the ult randomly, you know, on a retake or like to win like a team fight. But they're not even worried about winning a team fight. They're worried about just surviving their aggression.
Yep.
Like, we're not gonna see like we're not gonna look at a stat after, right?
Yep.
We're not gonna look at the stats after and see that Nero had 27 Torball kills. Right?
Yeah, we better see a Torp turret kills though.
Yes. With Torp turret damage, you know, we're gonna see that. But honestly, they're keeping them in the fights, and there's nothing Gladiators can do. They just have to wait for the ult to go away. But in that amount of time, they already use their cooldowns to get there, and then Shock reaggresses. I love it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
There we go. Shock with the 2-1. And once again, I want to point out, What's win and shock these games is their decision making when a fight is either when they decide to disengage a fight or when they engage the fight. That was their problem on the first map. So far, we've seen them play really well on these two.
To be honest, I think that's part of having Super in the lineup. I think Super in the lineup probably brings that extra rotational factor to it, because whenever he's in the lineup, they seem to make more cohesive decisions. I don't know if that's based off of his calls or versus, you know, him not being in the lineup, someone else calls, or if Smurf's calling or whoever it might be. Yeah. But it seems like whenever Super's in the lineup, whether it's the Arista comps or the Ryan comp, they definitely rotate better.
Well, we got to remember the first lineup they had also was kind of like a even of a newer lineup than what we've been seeing.
Yep.
So that's one of those lineups, and it's also, once again, let's be honest here. We've seen so many different lineups on Koth. And Shock has definitely struggled on Koth.
Like, I mean, I'm sure Shock's social media guy is tired of putting out the same tweet of Shock lost on control.
Yeah,
know. Like at this point, like I feel for you. I feel for you. Like seriously, but
hey, you know what? You and I popped off today on Koth.
I don't want to hear it out of you. I'm not in the mood after today.
What? We actually won a game today.
We went 1-7.
No, we didn't.
What do you mean? No, we didn't.
We went 1-8.
You really had to say 1-8.
And I had a draw. My first game of the day, I got full held on Navani, and then we full held them on Navani.
I should have known the second you said that we were in for a rough day.
Ugh. That was great.
No. There's a lot of things that was, and great was not one of them.
We almost actually won that Temple of Anubis game. That was nice.
Oh yeah, the Temple of Anubis game where we held for 5.5 minutes and lost on last fight. That was great.
Actually, that would have been a draw.
That game.
That would have been a draw.
Yeah, I know. It's
would have been one less loss.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're not wrong, but at the same time, though, like, man, my brain actually melted at one point. Like, for those who don't know, I just got my second COVID shot yesterday. So the fact that I'm alive is even a miracle right now, like awake and doing some other stuff. But like, honestly, like, the games today were probably way more painful than anything that cooked up.
Well, it is end of the season. You have to remember that.
It is end of the season. Yep.
Yeah, just so you know, end of the season games are just... We have a week left in the season, okay? End of the season games are just something else. It is just... I explained it earlier. There is just a lot that happens at the end of the season that it just... If I finish with a good record for the day on an end of the season like games, I am like, wow, we popped off today. Like,
you know, I haven't made a trip to Masters in a few seasons. I mean, that's what I'll do.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
You know, I got a vacation home there.
Exactly.
Oh, please, I hope not, actually.
I mean, even I did.
You've actually done it the last couple seasons.
No, actually, that was the first one in like a while.
No, you went last season too.
No, last season I was close, but I popped off like I think on the game before.
A very impressive
okay.
June joust in all
I definitely remember you hitting it again though, like maybe 2 seasons ago though.
I think it was 3 seasons ago. I
almost no. It was that long ago.
No, it was. Believe it or not, it was. Well, 3 seasons would be still a bit ago, but not too long ago. I also realized this is the last week of June.
It really is.
Wow. Going into July.
The first map, the
Gladiators,
they handled the
July is up next.
It is
rather easily, although
it is.
they held very close and never felt.
I know. I had no idea.
But the last
learn something new every day.
I'm here to help.
Really bounce back, you know, having Super come in and play the Rhine.
You think we're going to see double shield on this map?
Has really thrown them off.
Yeah, it looked like they were
double shield on this map.
Like you mentioned, a double sniper composition.
Yeah. Do you know what this map is?
No, what map we playing?
Full Sky.
My guess is a dive comp with Echo, or a Sigma comp,
I wouldn't have been surprised.
or a double shield comp,
get brought in there as well.
or a
You
rush
only
comp.
we're gonna see Torb?
San Francisco, they really
No
stick
Torb?
with that same composition. Now, there's a vast difference between.
I don't know, because Volsky is the 1-2 CP that no matter what happened,
different as a result.
except, I mean, not no matter what, but like, a lot of the times we would see teams are like a Sigma
There
ball,
was that same San Francisco lineup.
or Sigma ball comp.
And
I'm not saying it won't be double shield here, but I think, I feel like double shield in this map isn't as good as it used to be, because of Echo being able to get map control on the outside of the map.
Right.
But we saw that with hero bans, so I don't know if that changes a little bit either.
Super is playing very safe as well.
That is true.
Is playing Torbjorn, for Christ's sake.
Turret.
Such a problem.
Turret kills per 10 minutes, 10.1.
No, Torb was never
Yup.
used on like the
See?
10.1 did.
Over the last, I think, real, year.
I told you.
Told you,
And if
best player.
If anybody wonders what the other, actually here, I'll do this. I'm gonna look at this production right here. There's the other stats there for Torb. I hid your webcam for a second because of this amazing production we have, so they can see the other numbers there. So.
You can also play, really kind of like a
I didn't know you
brawl
could hide it.
style with the Torbjorn as well.
Pretty good production, huh?
We've seen teams
Yeah,
get good
nice.
use of it.
All right, and here's the roster.
Given the Gladiators some
Yep, they're all there.
Yep. No, like Ans is back in. Twilight's
No, I
back
mean,
in.
like, they're all sitting in their chairs.
Oh yeah, no, the shock roster is ready to go. Look at it. They're ready to play. Oh, wrong one. That was my camera.
Okay.
Yep, look at this production quality. Wait, there we go.
Per 10 minutes.
Yep, shock's all here.
That seems to be such a pain to deal with, even if it's deployable. It's what like only got a little bit of HP.
Wow,
You can destroy it from range. We saw shoot
All ready to play.
on multiple occasions, but when push came to shove, when it came time to dive, there was a seventh player to deal with on San Francisco side.
Anybody there?
Off-angle chip damage. It takes your view and attention for a few
This is us in our rank games. Hello?
Same lineup.
Yeah, except we're gone too, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
As well.
Wait 1 second. All right, here's Flats and I in our rank games.
Will be the lineup. So Ons comes back in.
Hello?
Smurf in for Super.
Hello?
And then you have FD God going out for.
Where's everybody?
So, next map is Volskaya.
I have 6 minutes of gold objective time.
Dude, I don't even want to hear it after my gold objective done today on Aressa.
You had 4 minutes and 2 seconds. I had 4 minutes. You know I
had 4 minutes and 2. I had 4 minutes and 2 seconds in a 6-minute game.
You know
Think
what?
about that,
Dude. I actually wonder. I should look at my profile and see how many hours of objective time I have.
Look for this to be a map where both teams come out with a lot of aggression.
Like I'm
It's probably
curious
kind of
to see
ridiculous.
how many minutes I have of objective time.
Paris and London, and Odegaard looked like he was really able to get a lot of Granted,
Shock.
was playing against the team in
Bring it home.
Yep. Because if not, you have to go to control after that, and we know how control can be.
We all know how control can be. You know what? I think it's kind of fitting that we are terrible at control.
Oh, we're terrible.
Don't want to play shield
Yeah.
tanks.
I actually managed to win a bunch of games of control yesterday, but let me tell you what, it was not easy.
But they're playing Sombra, they're playing Echo, they're playing Doom.
Oh, that's because I wasn't playing.
If there's one thing San
Yeah, we would've
Francisco
lost them all.
can be sure of over the course of this
Yeah,
season,
well, 1-4 yesterday too.
any of these fights.
Or it was like 1-5 actually.
Actually, no, I'm pretty sure yesterday, I think 50% of my games were caught. Like, I actually played
No, I was
50%.
4,500 2 days ago.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was
I'm
ranked,
almost at a top 500.
I think I was
I'm
ranked
like,
30
I'm like,
5 days ago.
yeah, I'm 2 days ago. I'm ranked 498 or something like that.
I went 22-7 flat.
As they look on offense, it'll be Onson, Ash.
Yeah, that was
Yep.
that was impressive.
I went. We went 1-8 today.
Yep.
I do wonder.
Thanks for reminding me.
Here on Volskaya, but not for Junker.
We won that game though. Actually, we won a cost, didn't we?
We won that one game where our May kept walling me. You have no idea how much self-control I had.
Less likely that you get that.
Well, I mean, you were gonna probably shatter nobody anyway, so they were just.
Seems kind of odd that.
What do you mean? I clutched that whole game.
Oh no, you did hit some good shatters, but I saw one shatter that you did where they put up the May wall, and I'm pretty sure you waited a good 2 seconds and then shattered the wall.
So they beat it, okay? So in my mind, there's no reason for them to beat behind that wall. So in my opinion, in my mind, I thought the wall was coming down because they beat it.
It just went up.
Well, here's the thing. I thought that was their May wall, and that was my first sign of going, wait a minute, they don't have a May.
Standpoint of the Gladiators looked like they were in position to win King's Row, right?
Listen, okay, I didn't say everybody was home right now, okay? Everything's a little off upstairs, you know?
I'm just saying, you know, I just,
But like, why don't we focus on the positives? I built it in like 30 seconds.
Let's look at the big positive we won. That's the one match we won.
That is the one match we won, yep.
All right.
Definitely, I think Gladiators off guard just a bit.
You had to remind me too.
Looks like some,
you know what's better? I went on my DPS account and I lost that first game.
Oh, did you? That must have been nice.
Yeah. I actually didn't. I didn't play that great, but I didn't play that bad actually. I actually had a crazy 4K.
Oh, did you?
Let's play the game. Yeah.
Nice. Wow.
Sniped the Mercy out of this guy on Hanzo with Valk.
That's rare. You don't even do that on Widow.
Yeah, no, I actually.
That's a mouse pad. So looks like potentially a water leak.
Wait, why is Ons wearing a Glister jersey? Did you see that? Did you see that? He was turned around.
Maybe they're waiting for his jersey.
That's going to affect his performance here on Tracer of all heroes. I mean,
Like they're getting the jersey made because he just got there.
Hydroplaning of the mouse maybe makes it easier to dash around.
Because they just signed him, so I don't know how long he's been there. Maybe they have to wait on a jersey.
Tell that to the Gladiators.
That's a good point.
Put it. I mean,
So
they put the pork.
They are?
Yes.
Like unattended.
I don't have one, so.
I mean, it's a recipe for disaster. I mean,
put lids on
now,
it, fam.
who knows? Yeah, put the lid on.
All right, here we go.
That can
Dive
The
versus
Smirk
dive.
Kessler just had when he swapped to Tracer. I'm scared now.
Dive versus dive. You know what that means? Both teams are diving.
Yep. Hey, do you see where Smurf's playing? Just throwing that out there.
Yes.
That hurts, man.
Yeah, you see it?
Yep.
Okay. I just want to make sure you saw.
Yeah, a little bit further back, I noticed, than the up close spot there to get flashed.
Hits a shot there on the shoot, scares him off a little bit. So you do have the dive go into the high ground for the Gladiators.
Okay, so they're actually diving in here?
Yeah, exactly. All right, so they're going to be in the...
They're going to try to fight for this high ground, but On's honestly putting in a lot of pressure.
Yep. Actually getting close to a Bob already.
The Sombra just went all the way across the universe, by the way, to sneak up behind him here.
Yep.
Or actually, it's a Tracer. Oh, it's actually both of them. Wait. No, the Winston makes... Yeah, they know that they have to get Ons out.
Yep. So far, just kind of an even fight. 4v4 right now, if I'm correct.
This is looking shaky for San Francisco.
He's just trying to get his bowl back. I was going to go with the
nano
bubble.
here. I wonder if they're going to nano somebody or they're just going to wait.
Twilight's going to go down.
It's 3v3. It is literally 3v3 right now.
I mean, this is such a hard situation.
Glister yeets the pulse
It's
bomb
2v2.
to get him, though.
But obviously the spawns are closer, and we do see Brig already back, so now it's 2v3. But actually, I wonder if Glister can get away here. Yeah, Glister might die, but he's going to try to... Yeah, I was going to say, try to get away towards their spawns, so that way they can buy a little bit of time for the point.
Cabster wasn't going to let him out.
Yep.
There to knock back the Tracer, but then when the nano...
I mean,
the brig being involved in the Tracer duel, like, the Glister doesn't have a chance at that point, just because Brig was originally designed to counter Tracer.
Chalk's going for this.
Even after the million nerfs she's had, it still counters Tracer.
Chalk's going for this.
Yep. The Nano Winston, Smurf has slept though. Wait, what happened to Bob?
Well, to that what you were just talking about with Tracer, I think Bob got pooped off the map or went off the map. What you were just saying about how Brig was designed to be the problem was that Brig would be like a hard counter to Tracer. Now Brig is more of a soft counter to Tracer, but I see Tracer still pop off against Brig. And that's what they've been doing with a lot of their nerfs. I think that was the design.
Where Brig could one tap.
It was a lot Brig could do. We're seeing a lot of changes where they're making it so even the hard counters are becoming a lot more of like, they can still counter a little bit, but you can still kind of outplay a little bit. It doesn't mean perfectly.
Yeah.
I mean, Brig can still pop off.
We're seeing EMP is going to be trouble.
It is. My biggest...
Violet rallies early, though.
Which they might survive this, but...
Oh, Smurf gets the double hack. Oh, I feel you.
This is going to be tough.
And now he pops it.
Smurf gets it all off, though. Nano boosted Winston going in on the backline, but the Brig, though, helps keep him alive so well.
This is what I'm talking about, though. Did you see what Shock has done here, though?
Disengage.
Disengage correctly. And that's what I mean by, on the first map, it felt like
gave up a tech, but worth it.
Yeah, but now we're seeing that same roster from the first map, and they disengage properly. See what I mean? So it was just about, I think they were just kind of getting into the flow of the first map, and now we're seeing that, because that disengage right there is why they only gave up one tick. That was perfect. That was perfect.
Well, you see,
play.
what you see in this game mode, there's 2 control points to give up. So if they end up giving up the first one, they can just hold the second one.
Yeah, I mean, but even then, like their disengages were just not the best.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
But absolutely,
they just play TCP better.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. They apply that same.
Those break whips. Oh, frustrating. Let me tell you.
It does boot you really far.
It does.
Like really far.
And they don't get any value out of the nano because of that.
That's also the second time that it's been a nano dive that gets shut down.
I mean, so far, I mean, we're just seeing, you know, Shock kind of keep a little bit macro. Good stick. Not gonna de-mech space there, but definitely gonna put a little bit of pressure on them to have to play a little bit more defensively.
You'd expect Space to play a little bit slow there, get healed back up, but just no breaks, just went in full aggression.
Yeah, I mean, it's because they knew that. So one of the things you do on Diva, and I do a lot, is you count the blinks on Tracer. Then once they recall, is if you see 3 blinks, it means they probably have 1 left, so it's a free kill for Diva. That's how I get a lot of picks on Tracers. I just count their blinks, and then the moment they recall, and I know they only have 1 left, I can fly into their last blink and then get the kill.
Yeah, I play Hammerman, so they're not scared of me.
So.
Okay, he's still good.
Good EMP there.
Ooh. It's not the that's not the EMP I think they wanted though. Oh, they still gets the Bob actually. That's actually pretty good.
No, I think they win that fight, or they at least. What we're seeing here is we're seeing Lister get good delay, and Smurf will have his ult, but oh wow,
God, that hurt. The best part is the whip shot too. Just one more little thunk.
I'm gonna be honest though, I don't think he was last year. I don't think I think Shock is gonna have a good attack. I truly believe Shock is gonna have a good attack.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Another pause from the shot. Let's see.
I think this attack too is going to be very different. Where maybe can throw ons on the Widowmaker actually and look for picks because he can play much more defensively and kind of keep him alive. On defense, playing the Widow. I mean, you saw him set it up on Ashe, and they just annihilated him with the Tracer and the Winston.
Yeah.
If it was Widow, it's even worse.
One thing I will say though is I think that the reason why we don't see Widow on this map is because of Widow having way less HP than before. It's really easy to get a pick onto the Widow in comparison to, let's say, before where Widow had, what, 200 HP? At 25 HP makes a huge difference. And I think that's why a lot of the time they'll play Ashe, is because you have that ability to disengage and displace them a little bit on that disengage, right? Now, while Widow can grapple, you don't displace them either. But when you use your ability to, like, what is it called on Ashe, the one where you knock them back?
Coach gun?
Yeah, so you're able to use that to disengage backwards while also stopping their die. So I think that's why a lot of time they'll go with Ashe, and I think that's exactly the thing I just said looking at my play Widow.
Like full 360 turns.
Yeah.
To look around. It was so funny.
I wasn't gonna argue with you, but I had a feeling they'd play Widow.
If they're opting in to going into PC phase, they are.
I love it.
They don't have aim assist, you know.
They might play Widow.
It's possible they swap. It could be they could just scout out of spawn with the Widow really quick and then swap Ashe.
Or go for a grapple shot. There's a grapple shot here. I think
he plays the Widow. We know how effective he is on it, and has been in the past.
Here we go.
There's going to be a lot of aggression though.
Let's see.
Right in his face.
He doesn't seem to mind that.
All right, I'm ready.
Combination.
All right, here we go. We've all been waiting to see the return of the Widowmaker.
Not a lot to see.
What happened?
It's got this crazy pixel peak going.
Yeah. I like that. Smurf kind of pushes you out of position, maybe hoping to set it up for us, but they get the kill anyway. And yeah, well, that was going to happen, Matt. Tracer Sombra.
They just 2v1'd him. Sombra was just sitting behind waiting. Called it, said, hey, he's alone, and they just went for him.
Yep. Blinking around very fast.
And
so, especially
on Soldier.
Soldier.
Well, there we go.
Okay.
Probably to get back into the fight quick is my guess. I don't think Soldier's going to be the go-to pick here. I think they want to get back
Twilight.
Really fast.
Trying to Twilight just get a frag.
Trying to get back towards the
Wait a minute. Twilight was like 1 HP. Even still is low. Wow.
Yep. Already 20% as well.
Feel.
I mean, those legs. If the legs aren't enough to convince you, it's the healing, you know, the team healing.
Get that one in the highlight reel.
And swap over to the Ashe.
Yep, back to Widow.
Oh, back over to the Widow.
Okay.
Just to get back to touch.
You know what that means?
Choi
means the Sombra's going to be looking for him.
Might be coming back on Soldier here soon.
He is back there.
You know, actually, maybe that's part of their plan. Is they just they take the Sombra completely out of the fight, going to get him.
Yeah.
Because like the high risk reward of looking for that pick.
Well, the
like,
support ain't with the Widow right now, so. All right, here we go.
Look at how difficult this is.
Good idea though to grapple onto the high ground. I like that. I almost feel like that was a bait, and that's a
pulse bomb, and that's the secure on Twilight. San Francisco were 1 foot in, 1 foot out in that fight.
Yeah, it's just good stick. Can't do much about that.
Oh.
Oof.
This is Kempster just dominating.
Really good today, yeah. Really
Can't do much about that.
Yep.
I think Space has had a great day as well for the Gladiators.
All right, so I'm over on the McCree.
Also played McCree.
Yep. Yo, that's probably the best pick.
This is the logical choice here. Playing McCree.
We're waiting.
You even consider is like, do they play a Sombra of their own? Right? They played it on Ilios.
No, I don't think they want to play Sombra. I think getting Ons up on this high ground here will be really powerful.
Ooh, huge pick.
Look at the pick on the brig.
Huge pick.
Ons with a headshot on the
keep Twilight. Oh, Twilight goes down, but
they might go to point here. They might go to point.
But the shock with Smurf now getting subbed in, they take the fight
maybe
to
not.
Los Angeles.
They do. They do. They already got a tick.
On the point.
Yeah, they actually did.
They're gonna lose the fight, I think.
Yes. With news
yes.
I'd like
but they got a tick.
Well, you can prime.
And by they're gonna lose the fight, they are going for the fight like we were saying they were going.
They're going for it.
Yep.
Okay. You know what? Let's see it.
So they have the numbers here now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good deny on the hack.
Pretty hard to keep Smurf off your team
Oh, here comes the pulse bomb.
Oh,
that was close for Ons. Oh, 1 HP. Kempster on Tracer is just terrifying.
He's had a
good
it was looking like you had a sleep. Yeah, he has a sleep that lands on a Muse. Is Twilight just doing his hardest to keep it alive?
That's just impressive. I don't know what else to say to that. Yeah.
There were so many players split off from Blister and Smurf that they were never.
What do you even do?
They had to
I don't think you can do anything to that. To be honest.
You can't do anything about that. That was just good play.
Until players came back, but it was just too late, too drawn out.
Still 3:22 on the clock for Sam.
At least they rally this fight. Rally this fight going in. That's big. And they still got another minute before they even got near Gladiators time.
This is a big fight for Shock, though.
Yep.
They have Brig out there in the EMP here, but it's just so hard to be able to survive that dive. They're just so...
Yeah.
I still think Shock can win this next fight, though. I think if there was a fight that Shock wins, it's going to be the next fight.
Yeah.
Why is that?
It's really because they just used the EMP and they kept 3 ultimates. And they're looking at 4 ultimates, right? They're not going to have their support elves, obviously. But if there's one fight they can win, it's going to be this one. I think it's going to come down to if...
Well, look at Gladiators. They got 5 ults.
They do, but they don't have EMP. And I think Shock has been doing a good job in a lot of these initial brawls. And they've been losing on the EMPs in those fights.
Bad Violet doing a bit of a skewed impression there.
Kevster getting a big pulse
actually.
That's a defensive Violet grenade there for the San Francisco Shock, which means they can still be affected by one from the other side, and they are. That comes
that was
into
bombs.
Play, yeah. Nowhere to go.
Their bombs are just they're just good at like separating the team, you know, and they keep catching Twilight because Twilight has to decide which way he wants to go.
Exactly.
And if he turns back, he's dead. If he doesn't turn back, then well, the bomb might get him.
If there was one fight they would win, it'd be this next fight.
Okay, this one.
This is the fight. They have 6 ultimates essentially.
Yes.
Individually, that together you get them rolling. You could see results like this.
Impressive he got nano off of that fight, you know. He was like 40%.
Gets knocked back.
Big pick.
Ooh.
Ons with a huge pick. What a sleep, though. That was like... Wow.
Primal Rage is available. Nanoboost won't be there.
They pop the rally, but if Smurf can get
Smurf is more than happy now to hit that
the Ana here.
It's going to be a rally and play.
I think
Smurf
might be able to get the kill on
the Brig.
On the point. And Shu has gone down now. So
was able to get the translocator. Sombra's probably going to go down here.
Huge.
That was huge. Even though they got the EMP off, it's not the EMP they wanted.
Yep.
Cuts Ons and Twilight out of formation.
Wow, just on the fly, just making that work.
That was a great play. That was not the EMP they wanted either. They just had an EMP because like they had no translocator, so it was EMP before the fight ends. Wow.
Yep.
It's an EMP that sets up that.
So if there's a fight, Shock's gonna win. It's gonna be.
Did Kevster pulse bomb or is he building a pulse bomb every fight?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't pay attention to that fight to see if they did.
Checkpoint B.
I have no idea if he did.
I think he's building a pulse bomb every fight.
That's crazy. And actually, we're seeing Double
some
bubble.
Extra protection for the Winston, also the backline when that dive comes through.
Oh, backline's gonna need a little help here with the early dive.
I mean,
Wow. So
wow.
we can't sleep or anything, can't shut the Winston
What do you
down.
do?
Another pulse bomb connection.
Blister gets the return, but
You know what's always impressive to me? The blink melee. Ever see me try to blink melee on Tracer?
And then need
You
more.
break
They're
your
just
keyboard.
60%
No, I do a blink melee and I'll like melee like a wall in front of me. I'll go 3
Somebody's
feet
gonna have
past
to
the
get a
person.
touch.
I'll be like 7 feet in front of them. They're just looking at me.
You have
that
enough
way.
time that if you're the Gladiators, you can let him get a touch. He actually gets hit. And doesn't want
who's
to
gonna
lose
get the
beat ball.
touch?
And he gets booped now by space. He's barely gonna make it.
Okay, Glister
He
gets the
touches,
touch.
but he's
Glister
gotta
gets the
make one
touch.
straight away.
But who has the next one?
Overtime
It doesn't
secure,
even
but
matter.
San Francisco are in
Yeah.
no position to properly contest the point right now. They're back in their own spawn. Yes, Smurf gets there. Uses
Or-
stream in, but look, there's no
Wait a
no
second.
supports available for San Francisco.
Smurf?
Can they do it without healers
Pause,
again?
champ.
Kev's in danger.
Smurf.
Smurf makes sure he takes that mega health pack. Doesn't get rid of Kevster though. He'll be able to come back and fight another
Nah.
game. Smurf again, that lack of healing.
Close, though.
We
Really
are going
close.
on to map 5.
And we got about
Map 5.
set up here. The Gladiators are taking
Wow.
What a series.
This is going the distance.
And
You know,
we knew this was going to be a close series.
It's
So
interesting
not
to see there
extremely
because
surprised to see it go
if
the
you
distance,
notice that
but
Gladiators keep doing that
man, I
aggressive
think you
dive play they
really
want to
have
do,
to, give
right?
up to the Gladiators. I think
Imagine like the
specifically
Torp comp
Kevster
against
space have played tremendous today.
where you're able to play that
skewed as
defensive
well,
comp again.
Constantly knocking Smurf
Mhm.
off.
I'm curious to see if that's what they
He's
do
trying
against
to
that type of
dive and
comp.
get in.
What
And
do you
it
think's
looks
gonna
like
happen
the way
here?
The shock players, you see people.
I think they're gonna go back to the
Weapons,
Rhine comp.
it
They're gonna
looks
give it a
like
try
they have some more
because
subs,
they've been
so,
making it work.
do they
Well,
go
what-
back
what-
to
what
that
map do we have
lineup
of
that
Koth?
they
That's the
won,
question.
The 2 maps with? Do they bring back in Super? Do you bring back in Nero and FD God?
If it's
Actually,
Lijiang,
At least from
they
what it
might
looks like in
play.
the player
If it's
camp.
Lijiang, I
forget.
think they
That'll
might
be
play
case.
the Rhine
Bear in
comp.
mind, Matt, it's going to be control coming up in this.
Oh, let's ask chat. I gotta go to
A bit of a
the
different
bathroom
flavor
real quick,
here.
so I will be
Don't know if that Ryan
right back.
Cross is gonna be
Okay.
enough,
There you go.
but
Have
Stick
fun.
around. We're gonna
Chat,
figure it out.
what is
Either
the
way,
next
ladies and
map? Can you tell
gentlemen,
us?
It's a California Clash going to 5. Don't go anywhere.
See that production, chat? We're getting so good at this production. We're crazy.
Coca-Cola is the official
right.
refreshment of the Overwatch League.
If it's Lijiang, I think it's a map they could run the Rhine comp on. I don't know if they will, but there's comps they can run they might be comfortable with. So we have the Garden, not so much. I don't think you want to run it on Garden. But I do think if you run it on Control Center and I think Night Market, I think you might see them be pretty happy with what they're going to play there, in my opinion. I think those comps are definitely viable. And I just based off of what I'm seeing, if they're able to run that Rhine comp on that map, they might be able to win that map. It doesn't mean we might see the same roster we just saw there too, because they did play really well in Koth. They just made 2 bad disengages on both rounds. So it's not impossible we see that. But one thing I will say that Gladiators is very comfortable with their dive when they can go against like a mirror comp or a comp that is still dive. But when they played against the Rhine Torp comp, they definitely were struggling a little bit more. Although the King's Row came down in the last fight. So. Yeah, I'm ready to see.
You know what?
What's up?
I figured it out.
All right, what is it?
I figured it out.
What?
Here it is.
Okay, I'm listening.
We need to get the stream to 1,000 likes
Okay.
before this game starts.
All right.
And I need to see a turret diff in chat.
All right. So
That's
Flats
how
is
the win
saying
happens.
get to 1,000 likes, which we're close, and then
Yep.
turret diff in the chat.
Yep, that is how it happens. That is the formula to win.
Okay. Even if they don't play the Torb comp, we just need turret diff in the comp anyway, or in the chat.
Yep.
All right, I'm ready.
Yep.
Okay.
Turret diff incoming.
Can't wait.
What was the map again, by the way? Did we figure out?
Lijiang.
It is Lijiang?
It is.
You know what? I bet they play it.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
I bet they play it.
Okay. Let's see. Let's see.
Because Night Market,
Mhm.
Night Market could work.
Okay.
It would definitely work on Control Center.
Okay. Hey, by the way, already okay.
We're at 1K already?
Already.
Stretch goal. Go for 1,200, chat. Go for the stretch. Bring it home. Go for the stretch.
Let's go. Come on,
Bring it
Shock.
home.
I do want to say one thing I am seeing though. Shock's playing extremely well. Gladiators are playing extremely well. I'm excited to see this whole, like, just summer showdown for this whole month because I think it's going to be some insane matches. I can't even imagine. I mean, even we're going to see Dallas's roster with these comps. Like, I am excited to see this. So.
Did Shock play Dallas this?
I'm not sure. Let me go check the schedule.
Early tournament.
Let me go see. Yeah, I have no idea where to find the schedule on the website. Probably not, but you know what? If they do, they do, and I can't wait because it's going to be a good matchup also.
They've already played them a few times, so. What do you think that game is on Havana right there, where the ball like ping pongs back and forth? Like, what is that supposed to be? Ping pong?
Me on Wrecking Ball?
Well, no, the ball is there for more than 2 seconds.
Oh. Yeah, I'm not sure then. What a matchup we have, dude. I'm ready. I'm ready. Here we go. And
let's go.
I'm pretty sure,
the Torb comp is in.
Need me to tell you that this was how it was meant.
Just to see the matchup here, I'm gonna hide the webcam for 1 second.
Turret diff!
There it is.
Turret diff! Come on.
So we have Nero in. We have Super in.
Here it comes.
We have FD God in.
I think you mentioned it, Matt. You know,
here we go. And it looks like we have Mirror and Moth are in.
A strong regular season.
We're gonna see the exact lineups we saw in King's Row.
Is absolutely paramount.
It's time.
Both of these teams.
It's time.
That spot at the end of the year.
Absolutely, and the Shock at 7-1, and the Gladiators at 6-2 currently.
That comp it works really well for this map too.
Yep.
Stuff's coming in. We'll talk about that in a second. Now, the Gladiators win this match.
It's time.
It's time.
They also put the Shock's record.
It's time for the turret diff.
For the Summer Showdown. Makes it even harder for them to get to Hawaii to earn extra points. So this match is huge for the Gladiators. For the Shock, it just puts a little bit of a cushion between them and everybody else. And they go back to that lineup that worked on and worked on Junkertown. So
I hope they're running the Torb comp. I think that comp looks so good.
I don't know if they'll run it on Garden, but I do see them being able to run a similar comp on Control Center and on Night Market.
Yep.
I do think you can run it on that map. I think both maps you're capable of running that, and I don't think we're gonna see like a comp that Gladiators will play. I mean, they might run a lot of Echo, which could be a concern there.
Yeah,
but
I
do think Gladiators can take. I mean, not Gladiators. I think Shock can take this and win the whole series.
Went like 36 eliminations and 1 death in that previous map, so you could argue that him on Tracer
I'm ready.
Has been the bright spot for the Gladiators.
Do you think they'll run the Sin comp on Night Market, or do you think it will be just straight up the Torb Cree?
A ton of headaches earlier on in this series. And San Francisco go with the composition.
Oh, it's Garden. Of course, it's Garden.
See in map number 1. This is a different look for them. We saw,
you know what?
Ilios, I know it's a long way to go back.
Gardens.
Now,
I don't think it's the best comp, but I can see them still going for it. Yeah.
Where do you go though? I think you have to go. I don't think you go Bridge.
Find the Gladiator.
Oh wait, maybe you can now. I don't know the timing, but if you TP out of spawn and then go Bridge, I think you can get there.
Have a hard time.
I mean. I think they're gonna be. I don't know if they're gonna TP out of spawn because they want Glister tight and packed up with them. So like, I think going Bridge gives much better like open space.
Okay.
You know, for the Torb turret for Nero to spam them out.
Okay, that makes sense.
But right side is actually would have the same advantage as well with playing up close. But I don't think they want to get bunched up in that room.
Okay.
Yep. So they go left.
The 2 maps the Shock was able to win.
Oh my mother of.
Well,
so that was my concern.
So they have beat.
That was my concern.
I believe Sam
yep, that was definitely the concern.
Particular player, Matthew. It hurts when it comes back at you. Live and die by the sword, ladies and gentlemen.
40% all charges. He just knocks everybody off. Oh, the Shock, they just want to battle out of the point. They bring in Reaper as well.
But
Reaper with the Torbjorn.
Here we go.
Super.
Oh. Isn't able to get the charge there, but they're able to sustain the dive.
Yeah, this is actually really good for Shock here because they engaged early And that's exactly what Super wants.
Exactly. That's the whole idea of the comp. They're happy with that. I think they're going to win this fight.
Moth is actually a major mistake on Glad's right there.
Yep. Moth is actually getting really close to beat. Must have really got a lot of heals there.
Yeah, so they got beat next fight.
Yep, definitely wasn't from that big
You know what, though? They have Torbolt because turret.
Yep. All right.
And then the
actually,
turret's still there.
Okay.
It was there the whole round.
Okay, here we go.
Reaper Torb Reinhardt. I mean, that is brutal
so,
from Muse.
Unless they have the EMP to open this, which they should, EMP Cole.
Yep.
I think that this is actually a very good-looking fight for Shock.
Okay, no, I
because this
agree.
Torbolt.
Well, it depends. Big slam, big slam.
That's massive from Super.
They don't even need to use any other ultimates.
Yep, that was what I was looking for, was the Shatter and the Torbolt. Because if they went really hard for their backline, like the Winston was, that means Super's got the free Shatter on the backline, which is what he just took. You know, and they didn't have the EMP in time. They had it close, so they didn't have it ready. So now we'll have it this fight. This fight probably doesn't look very good for Shock.
Well, FD God needs to hide. It really depends what FD God does hide. And as you can look in the back there, you can see Sombra's going to be coming in right now.
Very early ult from Nero, but
that was on purpose.
He kind of had to.
I think that was on purpose. I think they want to set up FD God to be able to get in a spot where he can survive and buy them a little bit of time. Maybe it wasn't on purpose.
He was already gone. I think he was gone already. I think that was. I think they were trying to time it.
There it is.
It gets canceled, right? Like, did we figure that out?
I'm not sure. And they trade.
Big kill from Gwister there. Gwister able to save himself? Yes, he is. He got back up. Choi is doing a great job of stalling
Shock
here
might
on the
be able to
backside.
delay this for quite a bit, though.
Yes, I think they take this to 99 if they do it right.
Because Super's on point.
Yeah, you're gonna keep.
Super's back. Super's just gonna sit there and just shield and wait.
They forced El Dumo.
That's big. After he goes down, gets caught by a punch.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're probably gonna get to like 89.
I think 89 is actually they're gonna get it even further.
Yeah, the immortality came in.
Okay.
92, 91.
They're
Not
happy
bad.
with that. All right.
Yeah,
so now
that's definitely take that.
I want to see what.
You're going back to Swap?
Yes, and I wonder if Shock doesn't know this, but they might recognize it pretty early on here.
He'll still be back in time.
Yeah.
Just because Shock has to go White Room.
Okay, here we go.
I doubt that Glads make the same mistake here unless they TP in behind with the Reaper first. Yeah, see, they don't get as aggressive because last time that played right into Shock's hands.
There's the EMP play.
Yep. Did you see that lamp?
Amazing.
You know, Shock loses that fight, but they're looking pretty good for next.
They are setting
just
themselves up
traded
for a good
Torbolt.
fight. Yes.
Yep.
They're gonna have
Torbolt for EMP and Cole. That's pretty good.
They might take a little bit of damage here to build beat. Because beat is huge in this fight. I just don't know. Because if you look, the Gladiators has the beat. It does have the beat advantage right now.
Yep.
Here for the Gladiators, you can get aggressive.
All right.
And engage.
Here we go.
The thing is, though, that beat is gone if Super hits a Shatter. It's gone.
Yep.
Like,
Pretty easy point for the Gladiators to dodge that Ant Matrix.
Super's going to take as much space as he can. They're going to look to try to crack the shield. If they can break shield here, he can end up getting a big slam. The window fire strike. Let's go. He's going to look for the slam when they come back in here.
Oh, wow. Wait, what?
I think he might have missed a little. You know what happens to the best of us, though.
I thought he might have got Winston there, though.
I thought so, too, but, like, they didn't fall. Choi's got bomb, but can't use it because he's hacked.
But the disengage by Shock might give them an opportunity.
The disengage.
And the Gladiators want to put this one to rest. Put the Shock to bed.
Oh, those are big kills, though, from Mirror.
Violet's going to saunter up here. He has that fade available, so he buys a little bit more time, but eventually...
I think they've lost too many, though. Oh, Super's going for the stall. The Torbolt...
But they only EMP ball there. They only EMP ball. This might give them an opportunity.
No.
That was
the one map I was worried about, though. I think the next two maps are Shock is going to be happy with that.
From Birdring on a Choyobin.
Yeah, I don't know what happened on that Shatter, though.
Yeah, I'm not
it
sure.
looked like it was on the edge of the cone.
Yeah, that's what I was confused about.
Regardless, though, that's very promising because that was going to be the bad map for them.
Yeah, 100%.
Just the awareness from Birdring to always know who's available.
Also, they had beat from the first fight.
Unreal.
They did.
Just unreal.
All right, let's see what happens. Well, he had 50%, but it made it really easy. All right.
They run the SimCom. So Glad's gonna run the SimCom.
God might be the more aggressive, but the Gladiators as a unit are the ones that are making plays.
All right, here we go.
Right? I think
I'm ready.
Mirror sets it up nicely as well. The seismic slam causes issues.
Oh, never mind. Now that's MTP comp. Wait, no, it is. They just TP'd out originally. I wonder if that's faster. And then amp it? Maybe that is faster.
Huh. That's probably the time. Okay, so here we go. They're running the Maycom.
Ooh, they swap Sim as well. Sim May.
They really are banking on
okay.
these individuals. Maybe Symmetra.
And then we get a Muse.
Probably see the TP get set up behind them there.
What the heck?
Oh, good lamp though from Violet.
Glister is still somehow able to get away. That teleporter's there, but Birdring is charged up.
Birdring is one.
That seems to be the strat of this map, by the way, and I wasn't joking when I told you that. Where I'm watching Reinhardt just charge in.
Did he charge through the TP?
Like both on defense and attack.
That's awesome.
You just charge through it?
Yeah, or you use the TP. You either TP charge or you just charge.
And Glister immediately.
And just charge.
Yeah, I know. I've seen it multiple times now, and I'm like, oh.
They swap back off the Sim now to the Reaper, which I like the Reaper swap, but I don't like that they lose their ult.
Great connection. That's 4, man. 4
Dude, that connected, right? Yeah.
The first time all series that he's played Reinhardt, and he still looks a dab hand at it.
Did you say a dab hand? What does that mean?
I don't even know.
I've never heard that before.
Okay, good news is Shock has Mail.
Mail is big, yeah.
This is what I'm seeing is Gladiators are playing aggressive on every fight. I think Shock needs to play hyper.
Here comes Wall.
Fight.
Actually, not Wall. Sorry, the TP.
Definitely solidify the Gladiators as a contender.
Immortality Field and Sound Barrier, that's enough to keep the
Shadow gets blocked.
Wow.
Big Dumont. Yeah, they're just playing ultra aggressive.
But we have some trades. Shock might take this.
Super does get a trade. Yeah, there's a bunch of trades coming in, actually.
They do use
but they have beat.
Great boop.
Oh, that was... Wait.
Oh, wow. I don't know who's going to win this.
Barely lives getting back towards the point.
I think Shock are going to take this fight.
Yeah, I think they might, but there's a TP back, right?
They got to be careful of... Yes, there is a TP back. They have to be careful of Mirror coming back in and flying in on the Doomfist.
Stop the cap from going through.
Oh, the Shadow looks like it goes right. Maybe because the wall boosts moves into an unexpected position.
Oh, no.
Mirror's causing problems once again. Finds Glister with the rocket punch, and there has to be an air matrix now.
Mirror's Doomfist is causing some serious problems right now.
He burns Urban down.
They don't have time to reset.
This may be it.
No.
Yeah, I mean, this may be it.
Man.
Back on here and touch is
no one. Just in time.
Feels bad.
FT got a good touch?
Wait.
I'm not, yeah, it was FT got that keeps this alive. Glister's no.
Glister's one.
He's
gonna die.
To pull up short here after such a competitive series.
Super, just kill 6.
They get Super on there
Maybe?
for just a moment, but that's all it is. A fleeting glimpse of hope.
They just played first. They played aggressive.
They played aggressive the whole way.
And the Gladiators take it away in a hair-raising 5-map affair.
Wow.
Oh, it's a big way to bounce back from the Gladiators. So
the Gladiators played well.
One,
really well.
I mean, Gladiators played super well. Shock still played very, very well. We saw a lot of really good play from both teams. Just it came down to they lost the maps where, you know, 2 coughs and 2 CP.
With that composition,
yep.
Both capture point maps. So I mean, they won the payload maps. You know, the so I think for them, they're going to probably look at that and they're going to be able to come back, and I think they're going to be just fine this season.
Yep.
That was a really good game. That was a really good game.
It was. It actually was.
Oh, wow, what a matchup!
See what these teams are doing.
That was what that was a great series. That was what we all wanted to expect. Though was a down to the wire 3-2 series. Yep.
There's some good Overwatch, but they're probably going to look at, you know, they're going to be able to look at the VODs and probably bounce back tomorrow in their next match tomorrow. Which we'll be doing a co-stream. We'll be doing a co-stream tomorrow at, I think, 3. I think the match is
3. Okay. So we'll be back here at 3.
We will be back here at 3. So I don't think we're going to be doing a player interview that we normally will do at the end. Obviously, because it wasn't the they weren't able to win that.
Yep.
So we are going to be hopping off. Thank you a ton for watching, everybody. Remember to like the video.
I don't care what anyone says. It was still a turret diff.
They did pop off. The turret was actually that strategy is really good.
Yep.
And make sure to sub to the YouTube. Follow Shock on Twitter. Thank you a ton
sub
for
to the sub if you haven't.
Exactly. Thank you for watching. We will be on tomorrow at some point. Thank you for hanging out. I'm Emongg. That's Flats, and we will see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Seriously, y'all are awesome.
Yep. Appreciate you guys.
Have a wonderful day, wonderful night wherever you're from. Bye-bye.